That time, same bad channel. Brendo's at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, Thursday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Welcome back in. We're dealing with a bit of a chop fest as far as the overall market is concerned. Back and forth we go. Coming off a number of economic releases this morning, if you missed it, that came in. I mean, it was a little bit on both sides. The GDP data pointing to a little bit stronger than expected. Some of the initial jobless claims data pointing to a little bit weaker than expected. So overall, the market kind of flat, to be honest. 0.46 for the NASDAQ downside. I mean, tech has been weak all day. Right out of the gate this morning, it was downside for most of them. Big tech specifically, we're still seeing strength from the Dow, 0.6 to the upside, 0.16 for the S&P. S&P tested break even. We got a bit of a bounce once again. So it's been one of those days. Back and forth we go. 0.4 there for crude oil. Bitcoin, Ethereum still holding on to positive territory, better part of 1% right now for both. Just saw this pop up at day highs as well. That is the 2-year, all the way to 4.9 today after that GDP data this morning. We'll get into that a little bit more this afternoon. But right now, it's about the banks. It's been about the banks most of the day as far as strength is concerned for the S&P. Individual banks coming off these stress tests. Really nice day. 4.2% for WFC, JP Morgan here, BAC, all of them in positive territory, including Goldman up here, 3.3. To the upside for GS, MasterCard, even Morgan Stanley 1.6%. So a ton of strength in financial stocks so far today. Notably weak here, UAL. It's had a pretty good week, to be honest, but downside today, 2.4% for UAL. Micron, 4% coming off earnings that seem pretty good, but downside right out of the gate today. We'll talk about that. SEDG, Enphase as well. Adding to the negativity coming specifically from the semiconductor group here, where software names and hardware names are pretty much positive across the board. Material, real estate, energy, and consumer discretionary then rounding things out on the positive side of the spectrum. But overall, sideways action right now for not only the S&P, but the NASDAQ as well. Hope your afternoon's going well. Still a ton of strength as far as the dollar is concerned. Ton of strength, as you saw there, in both the 2-year and the 10-year. Frank Caberna coming up in about 45 minutes. He's going to touch on why that is, why the comments we got yesterday, specifically from Fed Chair Powell, should be taken into consideration. Remember, PCE tomorrow morning, then we get non-farm payrolls next Friday. So still more data to come ahead of the July meeting. So a ton of things to consider, guys. I just realized, I don't know why I didn't see this before. It's Blue Day around here on the afternoon show.
First of all, like the amount of days where all of us wear blue is, I don't think you're saying much. I think once a week all of us are wearing blue, except for Sharif's in black. That's about the only thing.
He has to be different. That guy has to be different.
Yeah, that's fine.
His car is blue. His car is blue.
His car is definitely blue. If you are long things right now, you're definitely blue.
Sharif, team player, man.
He doesn't get the memos. It's fine. You can wear the all black if you want to.
He's claiming it's navy blue. That looks black to me. So.
That's not navy blue.
100%. Brendo's got my back.
No.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
I don't care what.
Can see what
That's
what
fine.
It is.
Like someone wants to have your back in a lie or something. It's untrue. That's up to them. Like I don't. It's still
integrity.
It's still
right?
a black shirt. I mean, like, what? You trying to make us crazy or something? You think I don't understand?
Man.
Whatever. We're not colorblind around here.
Yeah, no. I mean, I am pretty sure it's blue, but it does look darker. That's
Okay,
that's the magic. Of,
what does it look like?
the
What does it look
camera.
like when you guys watch? That's what matters.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. We are. We're net short everything.
Oh,
right now.
HPDS. How about suit and tie day? No, actually, there is a strict no tie policy on the trading floor, and that has been around since I was a trainee. I remember I was told by whomever the person was that was interviewing me. There was 2 of them. One of which who knew I knew the other person, and they said if you wear a tie, it will get cut off. And that was way back in 2003.
Yeah, that's for prop trading, but
but that's
we're not.
we don't roll ties.
I think I own one suit, and I think that might be the suit from like when all our friends were getting married. Like
It's that one, yeah.
I haven't bought any suits in forever. Maybe a sport coat or something like that, but not an actual suit. So.
Full suit? Yeah.
Yeah, we're net short everything, man. I'm short Tesla. You can come over and have a look at this. This was $3 in the. I mean, we had some great trades. I was talking about getting stopped out right there at 259 when that broke, but then we just got right back in when I was. You think I was mad? when that broke, and I got out at that top. That was a lot of shares there, but then we got right back in on the 50-period break of 258. So we got out 258.75 or something, right back in there, and then boom goes the dynamite. Like, I was mad because, you know, we lost about $1 on that, but look what this take was. This was a lot of shares. 258, my best out there, 255. So that's what I was saying in the chat, that we had the $3 club again, and we're back into this right now too. So nice out right there at 255.30. We just shorted it off the 200 period right there. So another one right there to the short side, and we'll see if we can get down even lower. And then of course, I mean, we have the rundown to go through, so we'll be doing this more. But there's AMD as well. We shorted this one. This has been a fantastic day on AMD. One stop out right there when we got stopped out after getting out a bunch. And then again, against VWAP into a negative tape. We take that short. And like, look at this trade. You want an R to R? Where do you think my out is? We're short at 30s here. Our out probably 45 at that time, maybe 50. That's 20 cents. Well, right now we're in the money, $1.20. So that's a 6-to-1 right now, risk to reward on that. So it's a nice trade here. It's a nice cash all the way at the bottom, as we've already seen this price before. So let's just continue to watch these stocks. Hopefully we continue to make a downside move here below VWAP and collapsing just a little bit. Brendan said everything blue.
It's blue day.
It's blue day. There's another guy not wearing blue, by the way, right there behind you talking to Kat. What a surprise. Okay, there it is. It's Prad. He's got off his, what's he doing now?
It's that funny, Sharif?
Oh, Prad's in the background.
It's weird. It's oddly enough, for some reason.
We're talking about wearing blue, Prad. You did not wear blue. Kat, look what Kat's wearing.
See, she's got the blue.
Yeah, you and Sharif did not get it, apparently. So I blame, I blame Brendan for that.
You should have to dye your hair blue. There's always a memo. You should know. He's asking, is there a memo? Prad. It's weird. Prad seems to, for some whatever reason, spend a lot of time in that spot, and the camera in between us. I can't figure out why.
Yeah, Prad. Kat knows why. He knows why. Everyone knows. See ya. That was easy. All right, enjoy. You going to the gym or the sauna, or what are you doing there? Oh, not today. Okay. All right, Brendo, let's go back to the Blue Man crew.
Excuse me.
All right, let's go. Yeah, banks leading, as we saw on that board as we came on there at 2 o'clock. It's been pretty impressive. I lost my story. There it is. It's been pretty impressive across the board. If you missed it after the close yesterday, stress test results come out. And pretty good right across the board. It was Schwab, again, that led the way as far as the results were concerned. But overall, I mean, the tail of the tape really tells the story here. JPM, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, we saw right across the board. Goldman even with a 3.5% kind of a day.
Yeah, citizens fearing the worst. Yeah, we see this every year now. After the financial crisis, these banks subjected to the stress test. This year, they were subjected to a 38% decline in commercial real estate, a 40% decline in residential, and a 10% unemployment rate, all while having to fund the economy. And they all did well, it seems.
There's a lot of Sharifs going on the screen right now. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. Banks, guys, how did we do today?
I actually didn't trade any banks today. Did you? That's wild. That's cool. We've never done that before.
We are going into the metaverse.
Oh my God, there's a lot of
now.
I love it.
I don't know who those handsome guys are in the top right there. However, you saw that, but that was pretty cool. Man, we're just doing so many new things around here. It's like really cool, man.
That's what we got. You know what the new thing that we're doing today is?
Screw AI.
Market is at the low of the day, and we don't have any long positions.
Market's at the low of the day. Exactly. Get the hell down.
This is the first time I can think of in a long time the market's been at the low of the day and we don't have anything long off the bottom. I'm going to quickly show. I haven't traded any banks today. So JP Morgan, strong day. Goldman Sachs is going to have the same chart.
Get down. And
if you look at this on the daily, I think we get pretty darn excited if this cracks 145. If you can't tell what a flat top break would be on JPM at 145, then I don't know what you're looking at. There was a big spike. There was a volume spike in Morgan Stanley. I'm actually not sure what it was. Right here off of 85. So maybe if this gets to 85, it gets interesting again. But that's my talk on the banks. We haven't traded them, haven't looked at it. Put an alert out for JP Morgan 145, though. That looks like a big break on the daily. At some point, these banks are going to give updates on their buyback situation and dividends, which will start coming in. I think they're eligible to start updating after Friday, after they all pass the stress test. No surprise there.
It was Google.
All right. I still hear Sharif's mic, which is fine. Sharif. Zip it. No,
Zip
just
it.
joking. You can do whatever you want,
Zip
but
it.
the mic was definitely on there. But that's okay. Right down here to 255 change. We've just been bouncing off Tesla right there, so I'm bidding 255.15. Hopefully you get that fill. I can just bid a penny higher and get it right now. Let's see if it does fill out for Tesla. There it is. It is another one on the dollar club right now, $1.50 in the money. We have two dollar club members right now, both AMD and Tesla. It's blue, Adoida. Okay, there it is right there. But Tesla, nice trade to the downside. We're going to wait for lower. I have no more bids. Let's just wait to see how low Tesla can go. We still have position on it. We are Greensville today in Tesla, so that's a nice one. Some people talking in the chat about Carvana. I don't know. I guess the rundown will be back at some point, but there's Carvana going
SSR.
Finally going SSR, right? That's why I was going to bring it up. Someone in the chat, shout out to you. We were waiting for a 30 break. That would have looked silly if we would have got that, But we didn't. So 30 does not break, and then there's Carvana right to the downside. If you think these stocks are going to stay up here forever, that's not accurate. So, waiting for new reports from Carvana. Still, remember the short float on this? It was 57%. Let's see. I bet you it's higher that people would have added to it up there, I would think. Nah, it's still the same. So I don't know. It's always been in that range. So we'll watch out for Carvana right now as there it is. We got a nice fill there. AMD's trying to bounce. I mean, I'm thinking that this is probably an out. Right here on AMD.
NASDAQ's at 15. It's at the low.
That's why I'm hoping it breaks. It just needs to get to 15,000 again.
Yeah, the low is actually 15,027 or something like that on the NASDAQ. So it's not really 15,000 even. One point to make about Carvana. Because it's down 10%, I think a false break of 25, that's the SSR long to me. If I see it break 25, fail that break, come back up, I want to look for a bit of a long trade, a relief trade on Carvana. Let's go back to the desk.
Hi. Still there, Fabian. Still there. It's all good. We will continue along. We were discussing some of these IPOs that popped up today. Mostly a flop. If the rundown was up, you would see my creative writing skills coming into play. One of those days. Both of these, or all three of them, really, downside in a big way. SVV, this Kodiak Energy, and then Fidelis all open up, and downside we go for all three.
Yeah, it's been below VWAP, so it hasn't been a long for me on SVV here. We saw Pradley involved in this one on the midday show, but it's nice to see that deal making is back, Brendo. In Q1, we heard a lot about the haves and the have-nots. The banks that rely too much on deal making and non-interest income were hurt. And so it's nice to see that it's back and that aspect of the business is up and running.
Yeah, and I guess a bit of an indication of maybe too soon.
Yeah,
we'll see. Downside, though, guys, all across the board here.
I felt that a restaurant company in this environment pricing at 22, coming up 44 was a short, and we shorted that all day. And then yesterday it was the other restaurant company, the Korean restaurant or Asian. I forget the style of food they made yesterday, the IPO. It was a flush as well. And SVV, this one is a retail name. Obviously, it's Savers in the U.S. and then it's Value Village here in Canada. It opens up and just quadruple. This was probably the easiest in terms of structuring a short. It opens at 77, touches 25, does not break the even. So stop at 25 and then flush. 24 is resistance. I didn't pay for locates, but I'm about to go ahead and do so, because I just saw this flat bottom at 23 even, and that looks pretty juicy to me. The only issue would be the spread. The spread's a little bit big, so I wouldn't want to cross down very far. If you don't get it in the first 10 cents, I don't want the fill, because this could flush really, really fast through 23 even. So let's see what happens. Probably worth it, at least for the locates, if there's a flat bottom break. But this is the only one of the three today that I would look at.
I didn't, we actually sort of glanced by that bank report there because we were having some issues with the stream or with the sort of the macros there. But I did take Citigroup. I did have Citigroup on the watch or on the sticky note today. And again, why did we like it? Well, there's the 246.50 break. So let me show you that's what we did on it. I'll explain it in a minute. Here's 246.50 right here. So I was just thinking that, hey, on a daily, if this meant anything to anyone, then this break would have been pretty cool. But it does, and we have that, see these wicks up there? We actually got some good outs on this trade, right? So there it is right here. It just, we got it early. The break happened at 37, 36, so first couple minutes of the market. There's our fills. We got enough out there. Probably held about 20%, probably to the end of this trade, where it came back and basically broke 50 again, back down. So that's a 50, that's a 40. So 10 cents there, but these first takes are 10 cents. So you know, definitely a profitable trade there on the bank. So I don't want to sleep on those. KRE. Well, you know, let's just look at PACW quickly. We haven't looked at that in a minute. PACW is a NASDAQ name, right there, 838. So if I remember correctly, we still do like that $9. We still do like that $9 short here on PACW coming into play right there, right where the 50 period is. So although I don't know if these banks are through the woods yet, sort of thing, like with clear sailing, but you know, that 940, 950 area, if we can get above that, then I do think that we probably squeeze a little bit higher and then get into this 12 or 13 mark. So right now they're just struggling around a little bit, but a lot of potential here in these names. So watch out for PACW, KRE, WAL, KRE's ETF, but I think that there might be something there, especially after the stress test, and then like we said, announcements from banking sector in general, probably rising tides lift all ships. Maybe you play that with PACW. We'll go back to the desk.
A translator as well.
Okay.
Let's talk NVIDIA, guys. We were discussing downside action or possible this morning. The CFO comes out after the close yesterday and basically says this new China, whatever it's going to be, this idea that the U.S. has in not letting some of these companies export these chips to China is not going to affect them right across the board. They don't expect any immediate material impact, was the exact line that they used. So NVIDIA ends up being a bit of a sideways trade today.
Yeah, to be honest, it is. Making lower highs at the moment here on the 1 minute, but it looks about China is only about 10% of their total revenue for those type of chips. The CFO coming out not happy about it, saying that they are going to miss the boat here, but it shouldn't materially affect them, like you said.
It was, as we saw when we came on at 2 o'clock there, it was some of the clean energy names, Enphase for solar, those types of semiconductors that were faring a little better today, guys.
Yeah, there's a potential, maybe we see that 400 double bottom on NVIDIA. I'm talking about just, if you just pull back the week, right? So on Monday we got their bounce. Pre-market, realistically yesterday, so you couldn't have seen 400, but you know, really you're looking at that 400 level. We're about $6 away, sorry, $7 away. 406 is the $1 trillion mark for a market cap, so that could break down. MU's on there, and I know we're having some issues, and we didn't really, I'm in it, we traded it, and it was earnings, so we should at least talk about it. I longed 65, and I went over in a tweet saying, quite frankly, if the Alamo's 64, wait for 64. So I took several trades off the 64 level, did stop out the bottom, was able to get 64 to 65. However, as the market gets back to the lows, this puppy was just barcoding with lower highs. So I just sat in the short. It's kind of a similar short at 33 on Intel, where I'm sitting in the short at 64.25 as it's trying to roll back into the lows and just using this consolidation. So I am shorting Micron into the lows, ideally at 63.5, with an eye on how the chip sector is going. Only because we're not going to talk about this. It's not on the radar, on the rundown, I should say. But how about Apple? So I have one trade in Apple. It was a loss. I waited for the break. I think a lot of people like this breakout at 190. I took the 190 break. I instantly lost. I didn't go back to it because that's the trade I wanted. But truthfully, Apple's green on the day into a market that's weak. And when the market bounces a few points off the low, Apple breaks VWAP almost every single time. So this is the name that you want to be long this afternoon, I think. If you got to fight the market, if you got to fight the trend, at least find a stock that is strong. And out of the big tech names, you show me something that's shown as much pep in its step as Apple. I'd love to see it hold VWAP as opposed to waiting for 189 lows, but that's it. Like either 189 bottom or long off of VWAP here if the market can get going. And maybe we do have a 190 break. That said, I mean, we did have the 190 tick, so all's good in Platinumville.
Is it? Yeah, Prad's gonna go get himself.
He's got to do it.
Yeah, he's got to do it at some point. Right now. So okay, NVIDIA. So the problem, honestly, man, the problem with NVIDIA for me is that we missed that 419, 419 415 NVDA. That was the level from yesterday that we had. Right now, it is just making the moves down. I don't have any trades on NVIDIA, so this might be a good time to discuss Intel. I'm just in it right now. Intel breaking below VWAP, breaking below 33. We just put this trade on when we came live, so if you want it, you can have it right now with me. I'm short 99. It's not like it's, well, I'm actually short 99.5. I got some 97s, and then we got some 33s there. I have a bid actually at 94. Maybe it hits it. Actually, no, I don't have a bid at 94. I have a bid at 91 down there on the downside, so maybe we could fill that. The bottom is 94. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. But here we come. We're trying to get lower right now. We're 6 cents in the money on Intel. Let's see if it can get to the downside. We're short here. Again, that's a good call, I hope. And then we just tweeted this out as well today. Or no, we did not. We talked about this. Shorting AMD, like every time it came back up to key levels, we were shorting it. Then it comes up to VWAP again there. We shorted it again, and it's a nice move back down. Double bottomed here at 110 twice. Double bottomed twice, right? So there it is right there at 110. Happened early, happening late. Let's see if we can retrace back down as we continue to hold the short. I think the semis, although I wrote down today on the sticky note that the semis were, maybe, due for a little bit of a bounce. AMD is up today, so I think we're right on this. AMD's up while the market right here is red. So I think that's right, but at the same time, we're short here into what I think, as long as we're under VWAP at 15.1, I'm going to be short. As long as we're under VWAP on the market, I want to stay short today. So it looks like Tesla's turn. Do we have Tesla on there? No, but Tesla looks like it's trying to turn around a little bit, but that's okay. We have a lot of outs down here. We're just here now. My out's going to be this 257 break. So we are also looking for a little bit more short here at the 200 period for Tesla, but Tesla's been really good. This is what we tweeted out. Good longs and out, so you go long, long, long and out. So that's all good, right? In and out, not much money there. I think we must have had a bid. Well, we did have a bid there. I think this was on the show. No, that's 11:30 when we took 257 short again and stopped. So that's really the only stop out that we had, and I was mad about it, but then we got back in, down, back in, down. Now we'll wait to see what happens with Tesla here. SpaceX was fun. I'm sure we'll be talking about that as well soon.
Quick review of CRM. We touched on those IPOs, all pretty negative throughout the entire day once they got open. Here's, speaking of negative, here's CRM session lows as we speak here. A ton of volume came in as we broke through that. It wasn't much in the way of news this morning. It was gapping to the upside on that $4 billion investment going into the UK.
Yeah, a lot of American firms seem to be investing in Europe. We heard Intel looking to open several plants, one in Poland, two in Germany. AMD also looking there now. CRM investing another $4 billion in England. They invested $2.5 billion back in 2018. So just more investment from the other side of the pond.
Yeah, not a lot of volume, actually surprisingly low today on CRM, guys. But session lows here as the market's trying to bounce.
Yeah, I mean, the market is trying to bounce, and I think Apple, it's above VWAP, but I'm looking for something. I just tightened some stops up in a couple of names, but I wanted to mention Virgin Galactic because if you were watching the midday, you know that the launch was very successful. They went up, there were no hitches once they landed, but it was a sell the news event. I know best laid plans and all that good stuff, and it was my intention to fade the news on Virgin Galactic as the plan went. I thought it was going to break 5. It never broke the high. As a matter of fact, there was one point this morning when I was saying, oh yeah, if they try to run it into the launch, it could get to $6, and then I'd fade that price. But it never got to 5. It was trending toward it as we got to the launch, and they were doing all that build-up. I'm like, yeah, it's going. Let it get to 5, and then it already started flushing on me, and I didn't chase. I could not get the break of the low of the day. Quite frankly, I had an order out when it broke the low, like this local low beneath 450. There was no fills to be had. There's not much you can do. Like either there's liquidity or there isn't. By that time, there was a bounce off of the SSR underneath 420. Went 10% to the downside, made a bottom at 420, bounced the second low. I went long off the low. Should have left it at that. I decided to reload in front with a tight stop and took that hit. I am still looking for a breakdown potentially here that can take it to the big $4 level. That's a big level on Virgin Galactic. It actually got there the other day. Bouncing off 4 just this week. So I think 4 could be a big level. It's kind of going sideways at that 420 level. I'd love to see this down at $4, but don't want to do anything until it breaks one way or the other. If it breaks down, I kind of want to look for a short into 4. If it breaks up, I probably sit it out. But that was a fantastic sell the news event. It was just very tricky to find liquidity unless you kind of had to be sitting in it anticipating the move to the downside or just super aggressive once they started that broadcast, because once it started going, it was very difficult to catch that one short.
We had a little bit of bad luck there with Intel because it went right to 91 and then stopped and we didn't get that fill. So I feel a little bit sad face right now by not getting that. But we'll wait to see because the market is retracing back up. It's not taking out the 50 period. We still have a ways to go. I do want to get more short. We talked about the plan of action here for Tesla. Still a little bit of ways from doing that. I would normally start to get in. Maybe I'll put something around here, 256.30. Let's just do that. We'll just put a small piece there if that does come back up to the upside. But I don't. Remember, like I'm trying to adjust a little bit of the trading. Like when I look at this, I would normally be shorting in front of all of this, but I feel like we get tested to the max, and then when we're out here in no man's land is sort of when this kind of stuff happens. So as long as I'm playing around key levels that I believe are key levels anyways, I feel like we'll be okay. Like there's a reason we got out right here at 254.50, right? That's that bottom. You know, and then when we came back into here, these are 255.50s, and that's a 255 flat. So, I mean, we could short 256. That's good, but let's just up it a little bit here into the 30s, and we're on the top of this range. Then we'll sit up here around 70, then get punched out at 57 if it does come into play. So that's Tesla, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I don't have really anything. I mean, we already talked about what else we have. AMD, I'm tempted to take a piece out right now. Should have done it right here at 50, but now we're upside. And again, I'm not shorting this thing until we're back into here, much closer to 111. We have a lot of time left. It's only 2:30, and we will find some more trades for you. So let's, we'll go back to the desk now. Then I'm going to be searching for some more opportunities. Remember, we have Nike reporting later on tonight, so that's going to be an opportunity there. We didn't do the earnings board. Maybe there's not many names.
I think it's just Nike.
Okay, so that would make sense there.
Serves.
So we'll watch to see Nike bouncing off 105. It's been a nice retracement to the long there for Nike.
Rivian is on fire.
Oh, I was going to say, they're reporting? No.
Well, they're not. Actually, you know what? No, they're not reporting. But this stock, 8% to the top. We're done the rundown, right? I mean, oh, we're not done?
Let's go back. Let's just go back.
Well, let's go back to the desk. I'll come back to Rivian. Let's go back to the desk.
That's what he said. I don't know. Oh. We were just talking about Delta pricing. Apparently very, very affordable. Anyways, the rundown, as always, brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on this desk by everyone you see on the show. Check out the link, bottom right corner. Still, today, guys, 25% off if you haven't done so. Shout out to our friends over at Trade Ideas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
there we go.
There it is.
Yeah, so we're done the rundown.
Shout out to Trade Ideas.
Wow, there's no stopping or running down Rivian. It's ridiculous. Look at the daily chart. This is it's going to speak for itself on the daily. I don't have to tell you where to draw your line in the sand. It's wicked above 16 before, but this is what the 16 level looks like on the daily for Rivian. I think a lot of people are looking for this break. Thinking it's going to be fantastic, but it getting through 1650 I think is even more important. Either way, I am actually in Lucid short. I have been short several times. I don't think this one's worth the reload. Not when I see Rivian screaming this way. It worked through VWAP, then it stopped me out. Then I got back in on the lower high. It's gotten to VWAP, and quite frankly, I'm still holding on to a third of it. I'm like, why? Look at the support at 680 on it. I might get some out here. This seems like it wants the top, quite frankly. Yeah, see, like screw it. I'm getting out. It seems like it wants the top. Forget this. It wants the top. I'm getting out of this. I think Rivian is the more interesting trade. Haven't even made an execution on it, which is just, come on, look at the uptrend. If you're looking for strength today, this is easily the one. It's not even close. And I don't want to be punching long at the high. A fail break at 16 probably gives you one chance to short. But if it breaks that high in the daily, 1635, I think this one gets absolutely nasty. I do like the notion of a dip buy here. So this last little parabolic move, if it wants to make another dip, give us a nice little entry, maybe 65 to 70. I think that makes sense. Bleach toner. I can't read this. It just says bleach toner or something.
Oh, $150 plus. I thought you said Mad Max was doing it. Well, yesterday on the show you said Max is doing it though.
He confirmed that we'd be cool with Max bleaching his hair.
Right, it's fine. All right, we'll figure that out. You guys
Just send the receipt.
support Pratt. He needs the money to
Send a soft
pay.
copy of the receipt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, send it to Max. Okay, so there it is.
Max said he'd do it.
Yeah. I told him if he can crowdsource the funds from the viewers, get it done, man. And that's what we'll do. So hopefully he can do that. Join him on the after show.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And it'll be fun. You'll be able to do that. Yeah, we talked about that there, Sharif. You don't worry about your black shirt and everything. Everything will be fine.
If you yell out Nike earnings, I'm thinking they got released early, dude. You can't. Oh, well, we've had how many times in the last year? There's been at least 2 or 3 times where there's been like early releases. I remember Firm famously had
Yes,
that
that
drop.
was famous.
It was in the
Very
afternoon.
famous.
Like everyone's expecting aftermarket, and about 2:30, all of a sudden they drop the numbers and the stock goes ape. So I'm never going to hear somebody yell that out and not think that we're going to have an early release. Just don't do that. It freaks me out. So what are we at here? I was talking about
Sharif.
Rivian. Now I've lost my train of
Dare
thought.
you.
God damn it. Oh yeah, Rivian.
Damn it, Sharif.
No, Rivian just made a bit of a spike up there. As I said, I don't necessarily think you want to punch the top on this, but if there's a chance to get some higher lows, like it's already trying to pull back here, I'd love to see it
we need
hold
to
this
short
consolidation
something.
area and see where it works. If you want to short, like I feel like Nvidia is the weakest name
funny,
that's not on the board.
Zoltan.
Like lower highs all the way through. This one's set up pretty well for some shorts. That Carvana, by the way, already bounced. There was no false break at 25. It's already starting to go. So the SSR bounce on Carvana is happening without me.
Oh man, that's funny. Zoltan there in the chat was like, abandoned shorts. I'm like, not yet. A minute later, Zoltan, shorts back on. And I mean, that's the problem with the market right now is that, you know, it is back and forth, and you do have to be as patient as you possibly can be, I feel like, with these markets. And that's something Zoltan and everybody else in the chat there that I'm trying to do with myself here. I just missed an opportunity right there on Tesla, right? We were waiting at 30, it got as high as 15. And I told you, normally, I would be shorting right here at 256. So if you can come to the chart, Ramin, you'll see right there, 256 right there. Normally would have been a short, now we'd be 40 cents in the money. But I was letting it see if it wanted to drift upside a little bit there to give us a better fill, because it's okay to miss, like we're already short. It's okay to miss reloads and stuff like that if it does not come to your price. And I just feel like you have to be very, very specific and very, very patient waiting for certain things to happen. Then hopefully that patience does eventually pay off. And that's sort of what we're waiting for right now. I'm waiting for some different opportunities. Thank you, Mashworth. I do appreciate that. Today on Tesla, we did do very, very well, except for that we got stopped out right there. It's going to be green for us on Tesla today. We've already talked about that, but you know, that stop out sucked, and then I put on a little bit there, like it's just a couple hundred shares back down to the downside. So that was a good move there back in, and then that was the 200 period reload there against VWAP. So like when I'm getting this at 260, my stop is 40 cents. So when we're taking about $1.50, you know, that's 3-4 to 1 right there, which is what I'm waiting for, a little bit more action on that. So hopefully we can get that. Maybe I'll just go to Micron. My tip of the day a couple days ago was trade names that are actually moving. And that's why you've seen me recently, Apple, AMD, Amazon. Like my worst stock today is Apple. It's actually the only stock where, well, we're right on Palantir. I'll review that as well.
Same with me.
Yeah.
Apple's my worst stock too.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and you once said something that's, you know, resonates with me, and I remember it because it was actually Intel. And it was the day that Intel cut the dividend. And we were like, okay, there's no one actually invested in Intel for any reason other than the 4 or 5% yield at that time. It was down to $25 or $26. Yep. They cut it, so we were like, okay, short. It was all on the sticky note short. I probably came in early. Neil was short. I was short. Got short in the pre-market. Then it just went bang. It just ripped up. It went crazy to the upside. And of course, there's always two ways. When you cut a dividend, you know, good for them because they want to put their cash into building things, foundries and so on and so forth. The completely different switch. A lot of these growth stocks don't have dividends, so NVIDIA changed their pace. But what I'm getting at was when your best idea, I thought Apple breaking 190 was a jam. We saw Max the same way.
That's the sword to die on.
Exactly. So we went long first right there because I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to get up to 190, so let's go long. So we took 30, 40 cents. I think on average, we talked about it, our average was 37 cents on all these outs. And then we got an out right there at 95, but then it came back down. Then once it reloaded itself, it hit VWAP, then came right back to 190. So I'm like, it's on like Donkey Kong, man. And then That happened. And then it went all the way to the upside, hit it again. We tried to average in. We got some out once it bounced back up, but then that was the widowmaker right there, breaking back down through 189.60. We had to pay the piper there. We got out. That was bad. We did get some more long, but then here's another one. There's a break. Anyways, needless to say, Apple was fine. We made money back. It could be disastrous, but you know, that's an opportunity there at 190. And to be honest with you, I may take that again.
It might break again. And quite frankly, my Apple journey lasted less than 5 seconds. Like I had one trade. I had the one trade, and the trade was the break, and the break didn't work, and I was in and I was out, and it was just so fast. But that's how a breakout's going to be. If it doesn't go right away, I wish I could tell you that I reversed it, or, oh, it's a false break, just get into the short. But if you're not thinking that first, like how many times we talked about, oh, it's a false break, faded if it false breaks. But if you're not thinking short on a false break, you're never getting the fill. You'll end up with like, you'll short the bottom, and then that doesn't work, it sucks. But this is a strong stock. It's above VWAP. If you're going to go long something, this does make sense. I did want to talk briefly. I'm looking for a bit of VWAP, actually, as this hopefully can come back down. I think Apple's the only one I want. Meta was the one I wanted to get to. I knew there was something that I'd forgotten to talk about. Meta's been stair-stepping down, and if you look at this on the higher time frame, like it broke this double bottom yesterday. I had one short. I wish I'd kept it on, but I didn't. And if you get down to like 280, 281, there's some support. You have a couple of dollars room worth to get to. So I think on any consolidation or pop, this is a stair step down situation, and you want to take the stairs if you can. So I started doing it. I got away from it when it held the low, which was probably a mistake. All I saw was wick beneath the bottom. I got trailed out when it held the previous low, and then didn't think to recontinue the trend because in my head, it's like, oh, that was the bottom. It's going back to VWAP. We'll wait for 284. I even think I put in the chat. I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for 284 now. No, I'm waiting for a curl at a higher low, or lower high, sorry. That's happened at 82. I'll look for the next one as well. This is about the trend in. I think it's trend to the downside, at least for Meta here. Apple, bit of a different story. That stock is so strong. Oh, and look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA could, 406, that's the $1 trillion mark. The bottom is at the low, 406 even, I think, almost to the penny here for NVIDIA. So that's another one to watch. And I do have a stop for that SVV, Savers Value Village. So that 23, the bottom sits at 23. There's a little bit of size there, but I don't think it's a ridiculous amount of size on the bid. Maybe 70, 80,000 shares on the bid of 23. I'm looking to go short if this breaks 23 even. This is the IPO for today. If you're in the States, then you know it as Savers. The discount retailer, it's like a thrift shop, I think. Kind of like it's Value Village here in Canada.
That's what Value Village is here in Canada, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't have any IPO love today. I didn't like what happened yesterday. Kava was great. I mean, the difference between some of these IPOs, when I come in and I don't even know there's an IPO, that's when I stay away. Like Kava, we know about that. It was Kramer was talking about it. It was on CNBC and all that kind of stuff. So that's, to me, is where I get interested in it. And I'm not trying to say that these IPOs aren't great. I don't know. It's just,
I'm saying
again,
dump it.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes back to what I talked about before. Trade names that have volume and they're in the news. Obviously, IPO is great. That's great volume, opportunity, and great news. But without knowing enough about it, it's not worth it. So, all right. So here comes Intel. Boom. We're going to get out if this breaks 05, right? It looks like it's right here, right now. So that's that level. Unfortunately, that's crazy that we would have only got out of 10% or 20%, something like that. So NBD, as they say. But you know, we missed that opportunity. Now it's coming back up to the upside. For me, this is a stupid stop out because like I don't normally just get out after, you know, maybe it's 07 we need to do. I don't normally just get out after such small risks here, but we're already short much better names than Intel, honestly, in my opinion. So if this doesn't want to work, we'll just get out of this. Break this level there, and then we're going to watch out. We already have it. Like all these names are starting to float back up. I only have 20% left of this AMD trade. So that's why I'm not in panic mode or anything like that. If we had more serious shares and we were waiting for a really huge, I mean, you could see where we're getting out, right? A whole bunch of outs early at 111. I mean, we're short at 38 or 29, sorry. 38 is where we're kind of waiting. That's where this level is. As VWAP has come down nicely now to 31. It used to be at 38. So we're going to watch out for that. But yeah, I'm waiting for reloads a lot higher than where we are right now. So let's just be patient. And I don't mind if this market goes a little bit higher here. So we can get more short. We're still under VWAP, still under that 15.1. That's the key number for me. Got it, and it's Brendan now.
BMRN, just getting this, FDA approval for hemophilia A therapy. So big pop on significant volume here, guys, for BMRN.
Okay.
Yeah, it's oddly enough, I was just asking in the chat about that one, so thank you, Brendan. Big volume spike. You got to look at if you pop the daily chart up here, you can it's crazy because you see that big crazy spike on your 3-minute or 5-minute, whatever you happen to have, and then you look at this in the last few days, and that doesn't even break the range. So you have like 96, 97 top, you've got a 90 bottom, you go right back and 93 top, 90 bottom, and then 96 top. So I would think if they just had possibly good news, okay, well, if the local bottom on the daily is at 90 and the top is at 96, the play should be take a shot long in front of 90. If it breaks out at 96, I don't really know the news, but if it's seemingly positive, then you want it to break out of the range, or you want to trade the best price in the range, which to me would be down at 90. So always when in doubt, zoom out. That's always been a motto of mine. So when I got into Intel, my ad was on this level. It was 06. I think the stop's at 06. I think if 33 is the big price on Intel. It was along yesterday. It was along the last 2 days. And it was fantastic for the long. I did try it this morning. It was no good. So if we fail from there, I think we can get back into the low of the day. So I still want to stay short. This one, Meta's starting to roll back over to the downside. No break yet on NVIDIA 406, but it's getting pretty darn close.
Nope. Sirens. There it is, man. Again, like happy that it's going down. Sad that I didn't reload, obviously, Tesla there. But like I said, I'm going to stick with my guns, stick with the positioning, and stick with the theory that I had there on that. If the market rips up, we'll get better positions. If not, we'll hold the ones that we currently do have. There goes Intel. We did. We got more shares. So we got a nice little reload there on Intel on that upside. So that's going to be a good fill for us up there at 03, giving us now 01s as a price. So I don't know, Intel. What do you want to do here? Maybe I'll just put a bid somewhere. Let's put a bid at 96 just to see if we can get something. We'll put a 10%er there. See if it fills us down at 96. Hopefully we do get that fill as there it is. So it just hit us there. We did use Edge A I don't know. I don't ever want to say exactly the gateways that we use, but I use when a stock's like this and it doesn't really move that much, I like to use what we call an inverted gateway, which means that you actually have to pay. So I think I have to pay $2, roughly $2 per 1,000 shares. Is it?
I think it's a little less.
I can find out.
It's not a huge deal, but I do the same thing on Intel.
No, yeah, it's 1-1. So it's $1, so it's $1.10 per 1,000 shares that I have to pay to get out on that fill. And the reason why I do that is like I was just saying, like you see, if you're on NASDAQ, sure, they'll pay you, or EdgeX or ARCA, but what could happen is it could kind of slam the level. But what the algos use, obviously, if I had an algo, I would tell it, go after the best fees first. So it hits the low cost gateways, and then if it really wants to go down, of course, then it's going to have to fill in the NASDAQs and all that, right? So I'm already out of my 10%, and it hasn't broken yet. So like if I was on NASDAQ, I may have not and there it goes right back up. I may have not gotten filled. So that's the difference right there, and why you want to stick with the guns on some of those calls. All right, I said I'd stick with it, and I don't have any more bids out, so let's just do that. We'll get some out on Tesla there right here, right now for another one. Money. That's a good trade right there for me. Getting out on Tesla there as it drops back down. We still hold some for another one to get out later on. Hopefully we can do that at this 254 again. We are kind of puppet mastering this. We don't have any shares left. We have some shares left, but obviously we've gotten out of our position. So let's just wait to see if we get another bump on this one. I said that let's just look at Palantir. I said I'd look, oh no. Yeah, of course.
Obviously. You crash?
No. Same old as I'm used to these days.
Same-ish, difference.
Look at this. Look at it. Look where my ass gets stopped out. As if. Like we were short. So I did get some out there for sure. But then we put a lot more on in front of 50. And my out's 52. Like I guess if I've learned anything from some of these moves, but this always happens to me. And sometimes I hold it. And then, remember I talked about this? So where's my out? 55 or 60? But then if you have 100 shares or something, then who cares? Give it $10 worth of room. But like, you know, when you're here sitting here and you have a position and it's like every penny means something and it breaks through 50, sure, in hindsight, I should have given it up here. I'm working on this. I'm trying to get better. We all know that. But look at this, man, that break to the downside. So that's, you know, if you're wondering why I feel a little bit there, wow, I wish I didn't see that now. But Palantir bouncing off 15 might be a trade, but there it is. This is why we're red. Look, short, 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 right? Everything's good. Good, good, all is well. Good again, short here, you know, putting on a big position, thinking Palantirs are going to go to the downside. Boom, boom, boom. So we're not red that much because we actually cleaned up here, but yeah, clean up on aisle 1550 right now because Sean got waxed out a little bit there. So that sucks, but there's the move down. And look, we wouldn't be the show that I think that we are, you know, unless we were being completely honest with you. So there it is, man. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button. We're here, both Neil and I are here to tell you all about our trades, man. And sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. And this was an example of it not.
Roberto said, hey, Neil, Nicola long. I'm still in the short from this morning on Nicola. It's not really doing anything. You can kind of see what's happening here. So it was a double top at 135. At the moment that Lucid was turning around and Tesla was at the low, I was like, oh, double top. That's a setup. You short here when top is there. It broke VWAP. It got all the way down to 120. And now look at it. I don't know. If you, like it is one thing to hold a position in something like this when it's not moving, when it's in the money. It is another thing to want to get into position here. I just can't think of a reason why I would want to get in. You'd be joining the trend if you shorted it because it's been trending down. I don't know why you'd want to be into it. Like, it's fine. If it breaks VWAP, I can get out and be profitable, and otherwise I'm just holding for a fresh low. But there's just not much of a reason to do anything here. Well, before we get to our favorite guest, there was a bounce off. You'll see the wick bottom on Apple. I didn't really catch this on the way back up. I tried. I always want to see it bounce first. So it made the bounce, I tried to get it, didn't get it. I'll maybe sit in front of VWAP next time, but a bit of a miss there on Apple. It's the one stock that's looking strong that isn't Rivian. Let's go to the desk. We've got Frank Caberna, our guest of the day.
We were discussing some EV names early on this morning. Polestar was the latest one to jump on the Tesla bandwagon. Guys, just seeing a note, Volkswagen is also considering adopting Tesla's technology. So that's just coming through for their ID cars. There he is. Hey, Frank, how are you?
Great, my friend. I'm glad to be here. A lot of was maybe going to be a boring week has turned into a very interesting week, at least from interest rate and Forex world. But where do you want to start, my friend?
Well, it was, I mean, it was mostly yesterday. We got some more comments early this morning for us anyways, from Fed Chair Powell in Spain. I think he was today, in Portugal yesterday. It was that very last comment that he kind of dropped the mic with and walked off stage, essentially saying that they don't see 2% coming for another at least 2 years, going out to 2025. So that kind of turned things to the downside as far as stocks were concerned yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of tasty sound bites from Fed Chair Powell overseas, and honestly making it very straightforward, I think, for interest rates and Forex. And you talked to a little bit of the stock fallout that we've seen since then. That being said, not as bad as it was in 2022, given what Powell said. And let's dig in to what he said and some of his European and Asian counterparts said as well here in a second. Yeah, he says that they wouldn't take moving in consecutive meetings off the table. So not only, I mean, you and I have been jumping on here talking about, will another 25 basis points be the last one, or will they hike again before they start cutting? The conversation now, Brendan, is how many more times will they hike? Because he talked about how inflation, they're still eyeing it, and they're eyeing in particular core inflation, which cuts out energy and cuts out food prices that have dramatically dropped over the course of the last few months here, as you know, crude has settled in a little bit and some of the ag markets have settled into the lower end of the range, especially coming off a very volatile 2022. He's saying we're not so much worried about those pieces because that's brought broad inflation lower. They're worried about core inflation, which is still sticky at around 4 or 5% here. And you have in front of you, I believe these are the core inflation numbers, and he wants this down to 2%. not there quite yet. And yeah, like you say, doesn't see it getting there this year or potentially next year, which led everybody to think that, wow, interest rates are going to not only be high and stay high this year, Brennan, but potentially get higher and stay high for next year. It was just March and April where they were pricing in, 50 to 100 basis points of rate cuts this year. That seems completely out of the question at this point, as 5% might not be the top in interest rates, and they don't look to be coming down anytime soon. And I think Japan wishing that they could see some of it's such a funny thing, wishing that they could see some of these inflationary numbers, as the BOJ governor who spoke said that they are a little bit stuck right now in that their economy is not booming nearly as much as what we've seen here in the US and in Europe. And thus they have interest rates so low and they have no reason to bring them higher. And if they do, maybe move their economy to not only be underperforming, but more underperforming. And thus you've seen crazy historical moves in the yen. But to your point, starting to play out in the stock market as well. But I'd be interested to see what you think right now, given the fact that Fed Chair Powell says all of this, we get the GDP number that was way higher than expected this morning, and interest rates are skyrocketing. I mean, the 10-year note is down a full point, a huge, huge move. But stocks not seeing as much fallout as you would have seen in 2022. Maybe the correlation is broken. Stocks are just doing whatever the hell they want at this point.
Yeah, it seems a completely different ballgame when it comes to the overall market. It doesn't seem to care. I mean, there's buyers. Every time the market dips, doesn't matter how much, there's buyers sitting there waiting to scoop these things up. So the market's still not believing what is the overall story. I don't know if you actually watched the stream that they had of this forum yesterday when it was all four of them, but it was really interesting to see. They put the Bank of Japan governor right at the end of the stage. So it was the three, it was the UK, the EU, Fed Chair Powell, and then the Bank of Japan's governor right at the end. And he seemed so far down the stage and just not involved in the conversation the entire time, because it was so different every time they went to him and what was happening in Japan and what was, as you were saying, what has been happening with their interest rates, a completely different story. But really interesting to see all four of them on stage at one time.
Yeah, it's almost like to the point where they create a podium out of how high your interest rates are, and you've got the U.S. there at the top. UK is battling. The Eurozone is getting close to the UK and the U.S., and Japan is just like miles behind. But I mean, we've talked about it in the past, not only with interest rates, foreign exchange, the extremes that we're seeing, such mean reverting markets in the long term. The question is always, where will these markets mean revert from? But when you're talking about four major economies that have been functioning at such a high level for over 100 years, Japan, obviously for much longer than that, you would imagine that that mean reversion will kick back in. They will either come up and meet these other major economies in interest rates and thus appreciate their currency a little bit, or at some point these other major economies come down to where Japan is. It's, of course, anything can happen, but historically speaking, the mean reversion is always kicked in these interest rate and foreign exchange markets. But yeah, right now it's as rough as it really can get when the BOJ governor's got no reason to even talk about interest rates in positive territory. Brendan, it's not even like, can you get up to 3, 4, 5%, negative 10 basis points still there for Japan. But some interesting data coming out of the U.S. this week. I know this is a favorite of yours coming up.
And I want to get to that. The next step, I guess, let's prepare for what is to come tomorrow. Obviously, next week we get some more interesting points as well. But the big one tomorrow, PCE, we got the quarterly number this morning, and then we'll get the month-over-month number, which is obviously more closely watched, and specifically, as you said, to kick things off, the core going to be closely watched once again for the overall market.
Yeah, and they're expecting this number to come in right around where it's been, which makes our jobs a little bit easier, as core PCE has been right around 4.5 to there. And this is always, people always comment that the Fed prefers this inflationary measure. So again, like very rarely do you get such a straightforward market environment going into an event like this, which is to say that this is the inflationary measure that they're looking at. Fed Chair Powell, literally in the last 48 hours, has said that he's not worried about the market's reaction to what he and the other FOMC members do. They are just worried about inflation, and they still don't see it coming lower in the next 6 to 12 months. And so you have a real straightforward look at how markets might react, given that if you have a PCE that's higher than expected, you would expect higher interest rates and higher US dollar there. And of course, to the downside, if you get a lower than expected reading, you would expect maybe some USD and interest rate bearishness. And yeah, here is that USD versus the Japanese yen getting all the way back up to 150. And that's the only thing that the Bank of Japan governor did say about potentially having a hand in the market is that if this market gets back up to 150, which was around the highs that we saw last year in dollar versus yen, and is the high for the last 30 years plus in this foreign exchange market, and we're butting up against it again here, that then the Bank of Japan might be forced to do some kind of market intervention. But like I say, a lot of straightforward kind of A to B to C going into tomorrow's PCE. Thankfully, Fed Chair Powell very explaining exactly what they're thinking, and that they're not thinking about the stock market. But I mean, I don't know what you're thinking at this point, that a stronger PCE number might be, I mean, given today's action, it might bring those tech stocks a little bit lower. But we're obviously seeing Dow and Russell, the industrial stocks and the smaller to mid-cap stocks doing well today, given the GDP reading. I don't know if we'll see that trend continue tomorrow, if it's a higher PCE number, tech stocks lower, and the other parts of the stock market higher, or maybe it just completely shakes it off and it's just a good kind of intraday scalping trade one way or the other. As you'd have to go back really to the last part of 2022 to get real clear reactions of inflation up, stocks down. Haven't been getting that the last several months. So it might be a good day trade one way or the other.
The past few have, we've seen that initial flush to the downside, and then all day long it's just been straight back to the upside, whether it's CPI, whether it's PCE, or even on Fed Day. We had that initial sell-off, and then the market just melts back higher. So we shall see. More to come next week, and then 25th, 26th is when we get the next Fed meeting. So more to come on the docket as far as the Fed for July. Appreciate it as always. Frank Caberna, Senior Content Strategist over at IG in Chicago. See you again, my friend.
Thanks, Brendan.
There we go. Always good time for Frank. Exciting week. Always glad to have him. He is the best. That's why you love him. Nice. We love him as a guest. He brings a little something that you obviously aren't going to get on the show. I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I've got the knowledge that he does when it comes to talking about the higher levels and talking about rates, and quite frankly,
yes.
I don't know. Okay, fine. I can't get that pun out with a straight face anymore.
Which one?
Quite frankly.
Oh, quite frankly.
To be frank about it.
How many is that, JB?
Yeah. Damn it. See, it's a real talent to be able to pull those off and be straight-faced about it or deliver it. That's why I'm not an actual comedian. It is what it is. The market's trying to bounce here. I'm just going to quickly go before I get to Apple. We can talk about individual names. The NASDAQ, forget about 15,000 at least in the near term. Your bottom is this 1503, let's call it, and we just made a higher low 04, consolidation at 6, so 246. Maybe we go up to 8. Either way, the market is making a little bit of a bounce. It hasn't stopped out. I haven't been stopped out of that Intel because it's not really moving. Apple bounced off VWAP. I'm looking for it to break channel, then get to the high. Well, it rejected 190 before, so I would suppose you get something out. If it does make a move into front of 190, I want something out 189.90s. And if it breaks the high, I think it's an ad. The current high is 190.07, so I would be taking a break if it gets there of 190, like 190.08 or like 10. Actually haven't decided whether I want the even dollar number or just the actual high. But I think this is a long you got to have. And the reason for this, Apple, can't really show it on the chart. If it gets to 3 trillion market cap, that would be 190.89. So I think there's room to that number. It would be crazy if we tested that today, given the way the day has started. But I do like it. Let's see if Apple can get to that upside. I like it for the long. There was that BMRN, just a bit of an update. Brennan brought us that news. It did not hold on to 90, got down to 88.5, and then shot up. It's a thinly traded stock. So it's putting in a lower high right now. There was the positive news as mentioned, but it did not hold on to that 90 level after all. Although if you held on to the long, sure, you're fine. If I had taken the long, it needs to show me a bounce first. The bounce didn't even come until 88.50, which is not on my radar. So lower high here on that BMRN.
All right, we'll just go props up for this. We put it in the chat while Frank was on there. Obviously, we're not going to interrupt him while he's talking, but we switched over to the long on Tesla right there. We covered 255. You can see where we're long right now, 256.17 right there. I was just like, if we break that level, let's cover our short, which we did, and just punch the hell long right there as I took a sip of my coffee before this. There it goes. Nice upside move for Tesla. Here it goes, man. Nicely done. Right up to view up. Let's see where we go now. Maybe we can get to 259 upside here, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully, Frankfurter, that's a good one as well. As we continue to go. It's not going to stop. Our chat is ruthless and relentless at these puns.
And creative.
And that's what I mean. They've got it, man. 258 maybe next stop here for Tesla, and then we'll see about a 259. Hopefully that can come through as well. So we'll do that. We'll see if we can figure that out. All right. So Neil and I were kind of. You just talked about Carvana or no?
Well, it is SSR now.
Yeah,
so this would be the SSR bounce.
We did talk about it earlier, yeah. So that's the SSR bounce there off that bottom. So you're still down 11%. So if you played the SSR bounce, you've lost 1% because right now you're down 11%.
But this is the first actual bounce.
But yeah, that's what I mean.
See, to me, you shouldn't have the. Sorry, before we go to Brendan, you shouldn't have the long. If you're looking for an SSR bounce, you want it to break 10%, but then you want it to have a bid and then break back up above something. To me, that would be 25 even. And then give your stop at the low. So I want to see it start to go. I would never just sit on a falling. Catching a falling knife is hard. You do it sometimes, but it's a hard thing to do successfully. I was supposed to go to Brendan.
Happening now, brought to you by Hui's Smart Insurance Solutions for new generation consumers. Cost efficiency led to a 20.2% year-over-year reduction in operating expenses and an improvement in gross margin of 39.8%. Use a QR code, bottom right corner. Check out their Q1 23 earnings report for HUIZ. Here's a look at how we're shaping up, guys. 1 hour to go on a Thursday afternoon here. 0.3 for the S&P, 0.67 for the Dow. All three Russell variations in positive territory, including the Russell 2000 there leading the way. In fact, 1% to the upside. It's just the NASDAQ lagging here, 0.3, 0.14 for the composite and the 100. Few names that have been on watch throughout the day. Micron, NVIDIA, and Oxy. Coming off that note this morning, Buffett increasing up to 25% now, holding on to a nice day here, almost 1.5% for Oxy, guys.
Yet he doesn't want to have a controlling stake in the company.
Pick up Riley Coin. What's up, Michael? Up there. But we had a great guest on earlier. If you want to check that out, go look at that from 1045 Riley Coin. Okay, so I recently bought Cardano, but again, it's not doing anything. This is the crypto winter right now. But Bitcoin, I feel like, is probably the best. I mean, not probably, but trade if you're going to. Look, you guys can talk about Ponzi schemes and all this stuff all you want with crypto and stuff like that. Still, Bitcoin's still down 50% from its all-time highs, right? So it still has a lot of work to do. There's names like Netflix that were at $800 that are just at $400 now. So that's 50% down from its all-time high as well, right? Ethereum's here, Bitcoin's here. We bought Cardano at 26. It went to 30. Now it's back down to 27.5. So I don't know. Do your research. Figure out what coins you want and what coins you don't want. But yeah, definitely just put as much money in there potentially as you can afford to lose. I don't know where this is all going, but if you are going to, Bitcoin and Ethereum, definitely good coins there. And like I just mentioned, we did have Riley Coin on earlier, so you can check them out and figure out your own due diligence on all of that. That's the best advice. I always get questions. Should I buy Cardano? Should I buy Bitcoin? We all do, right? And the thing is like, honestly, it's like any other investment. You have to make your own choice, right? Neil and I are not paid or not certified to give advice on financial longevities for you guys or any sort of what you're doing. We could tell you obviously what we're doing and what our opinions are, but you got to sort of take the risk in your own hands and understand what stage of life you're at.
Yes.
I mean, we could just do this. I could do this all over again. I mean, you know, I thought maybe at one point I was going to be an insurance salesman. I think I would make a good salesman, but
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were.
no, not really. So the reason why is that you remember at Laurier we had Clarica.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So many people were going to there for financial. What is it called? Not an analyst. But,
no, it's
an investment advisor.
investment advisor.
Investment advisor.
That's who
so,
you know.
And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Remember the trader who got, and I'm not going to say his name here. Remember the trader who got fired from head office? Then we hired at our office. We fired him there, and then we merged to head office. He got fired like 3 times.
Yeah.
He ended up as an investment advisor.
Exactly.
I know you know who I'm talking about.
So yeah, but that's kind of the.
I wouldn't say the name. That would be rude.
Well, you just said the guy got fired literally 5 times. So
No,
yeah,
3.
don't. Okay, so yeah.
What? I didn't say 5. I said 3 times. But
I
here's
thought you said like twice from head office, 3 from
no. But
us,
here's
or-
the interesting thing about it. And before we get it twisted, this trader was a profitable trader
Yes,
for a
Wilfred
decade.
Laurier,
It
yeah.
had absolutely nothing. Like the way he would take his hits and sort of, it is what it is. Like the guy could never be shut down. He could never be down a small amount. If he lost, he was shut down. That's the best way to think about it.
The thing about this guy too was trading. So like, if you were long a stock in your own portfolio, then he could not short it.
He'd only go long.
He was only going long that name. It's like,
broke
so for
every
example,
rule of the
I
book.
own Apple. I gotta buy it. And the problem was he was doing it with like penny stocks. So
Yeah.
basically these stocks that keep on ripping. And I think that another tip, I mean, we're here to give you education as well, obviously, is that, you know, don't hold your own bias towards a stock if you can. Try to eliminate that and just look at the stats in front of you or whatever you're trading off of, whether or not it be, you know, like I would love Apple to break 190, but it's probably a good short here at 190.
No, it's not. It's a long.
I know, but I just mean technically when we're looking at the charts, it looks like a good short, right? So that's the whole point. Obviously, for longevity of my account, we want it to go to the high side, but you know, don't trade your own book. And I think that that's more true now than back then, because right now we have so many high flying stocks that you may own Carvana in your own account. So therefore, you don't want to short it when you're day trading it, but two different, keep them separate.
Yeah, you got to. It's like right brain, left brain, and you have to do that as a trader. Speaking of the aforementioned Apple,
And brains.
only because it is pulling back into VWAP here. So I'll go for a reload. Let's see it bounce off VWAP and go for reload. This just doesn't seem to want to break out just yet. But hey, man, we could get back up and take a second shot at the high of the day break if we get there. But it looks like we are gonna maybe reverse back in. Just an idea. Okay, so Intel is in a 10-cent rut, but it's done this before. And if the market gets back to the lows, typically what happens is it breaks the range and then threatens the bottom when it's in a downward trend. I've seen this story before. It's underneath 33. So I got bids, but you should probably take something out in the low 90s. I am very close to canceling this breakdown trade on SVV. So I like this 23 breakdown. It's a double bottom already, but the volume's starting to dry up as we get to the end of the day. And if it doesn't happen soon, then I don't want it at all. I'll give it a few more minutes, but this is falling asleep, that IPO. I just felt like it could fall $1 if it broke 23, but with no action here, maybe we wait for tomorrow for that to happen. Oh, Rivian, that's what I wanted to talk about. Barcoding at the high of the day at a monster level on the daily. I've been trying to tell myself not to short this level. But I mean, if you're just gonna sit here, like the high, like it opened at 15, like 96 once. It hasn't had a close above these prices in forever. It's free locates. This could be a shot to risk less than 10 cents, and VWAP is 40 cents underneath. If we're not gonna do anything, then that would favor, if the market's not gonna do anything, if these stocks aren't gonna do much, then to me that would favor risk to reward short. And if it breaks out the high, I'm not even talking about 16, I'm just talking about 88. Like this is 5 cents worth of risk. So let's not diddle. And if it breaks the top, it's not that complicated. I like it a little bit more than Lucid, which I was in before. And the difference with Lucid is I got out of Lucid, it was in the middle. If Lucid was at $7, I'd probably put that trade on too. But yeah, Rivian at this price, it doesn't even have to get to VWAP. All it has to do is channel down once, and you get a good R&R here off that 88 top.
I like. All right, so I know PT. What's up to PT? What's up to? Oh, hey, I see Bud Monster again in the chat. What's up, Bud Monster? I'm glad you survived today. That's good. Hey, what's up, Bud Monster? What's up to Sam? Yeah, what's up? What? This Bud's for you.
Well,
okay.
The other kind of Bud.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. JB, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's named Bud Monster. All right, anyways, what's up? Weed coin, okay. All right, so yeah, we know that right now for Fidelity. That's a good point there. So, whoa, hello. What's up, John Riz? Hey, what's up, my guy? Oh, he's always here. Okay, good. What's up, Bud Monster? Shout out to you. All right, that's good. I love you, Sam. Okay, shout out to Weed coin there. He loves girl or guy named Sam. So shout out to that. That's the thing nowadays. You never know. There's so many different names. Like, even on our baseball team, there's various like names that are now mixed. Like you don't know if it's male or female. I love the name Sam actually for a girl. To be honest with you,
my cousin's name is Sam.
Yeah, I really like female. Or, yeah, I really like. Well, Samantha.
Yeah, but nobody calls her. Nobody calls her.
Right, that's what I mean. So
literally,
I like that name. Yeah. Okay, so shout out to that. All right, so what do we do?
You jinxed Apple, by the way.
What? I jinxed Apple?
Yes.
Why? Because I called it a good short at 190. I mean,
well, it was.
Let's look at
it was here when you said that, and it was bouncing, and now I'm going to lose off this. Well, no, I'm joking about that. The market is at it's a relatively weak market where the shorts have been winning pretty much all day. So, like, you are looking for relative strength.
That's your long Tesla.
And if this had held, that's fine. As I said, I did take Rivian off that low of the day, or the high of the day. We'll see what happens. I have now canceled SVV. I think it's a bit of a distraction. If we don't hold on to 50, I want to be out of Apple. I think we just have to wait another day for 190 if we don't hold on to VWAP here. As frustrating as that might seem, that's what it is. I did just, say, take something out of Intel if it gets to the low 90s because it doesn't seem to want to break it, so I did. Now I'm into half of the position. So I'm holding on to half for the further breakdown. I did get out of Apple. The reload didn't really hold it very long. Let's see it establish above VWAP before I jump back into this. If you're going to go against the grain, I want to see signs of strength before I re-enter. It was pretty clean the first time. The second time was not at all. Oh, there's one more. Meta. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're just hot dog canning up some a little bit here. We are $1.20 in the money now on Tesla as it's breaking. Neil's just talking about some shorts, but this name really started to get going there. Just now, it looks like they're Volkswagen also trying to consider that charging station. I mean, the thing about this is, I think that just with all the charging stations, and again, here in Canada, I don't even know where there is charging Tesla's charging stations. There are at malls and various things like that around here. There are some out there, but there goes Tesla with a lot of room to the upside right now. I'm waiting at 258 to get the next fill. So hopefully we can get up there in the 70s and get out. Shout out to my friend Phil again. But hopefully we can get that fill around 258. Take it out for $2 on that. And we're the puppet. My kids play the violin, but today we're playing the fiddle on this one. So that's a good one there. And then you guys also said, let's just do a little face slap here. There's Intel. Even though it's barcoding. And by the way, Neil, I do have that crystal ball on Apple, so that's why it's my worst stock today. But you can see here, Intel, we just got filled at 91 there. But we do have, sorry, I should zoom in a little bit here. We do have a bunch of fills here at 93 and 94. And again, we're just short here. Our average price, we were short at 01s, then we somehow got an 03 fill, which gave us an 01, right? So although it shows 03 right now, our average fill on this was 301 when you average in all of this. So now that you're coming down, I mean, I can't believe we're celebrating. I'm even talking about 10 cents. But honestly, the range here since, when is this? 1 o'clock. The high has been 05. And the bottom has been below where we are right now. Like right now, we're the lowest. So we had basically a 10, honestly, look, that's 10 cents, right? That's 05. This bottom is, well, 92s. So you had basically a 12-cent range. We are now in the money, 10 of those 12 cents. So far, so good on this trade. Let's just wait to see if it can continue to work to the downside as the monster itself, Tesla, waking up now, up 0.37. Let's see if this market can get positive. The other trade that we have on board right now is AMD. But like I said, no fill, no cry. We're waiting for a lot higher than this. Although now look where the 200 period is. It's really sloping down. Maybe I should just trade this right now. Okay, so that's fine. So now that I see some reasons to do this, let's go a little bit more short here if we can get it. You see my current price now is 30s. We're trying to get it right here again, and then we can use view up as our out, which is 31. So now that all these lines, okay, here we go. Now that all these lines are coming down, well worth it. All right, Tesla, you know what? Boom. Take it out a little bit right there. I don't need this to fall down. So we'll go diamond hands a little bit. We held it for as long as we could right there. Let's take $1 on Tesla, get some out at 257, cancel our upside now on this name, and see here. So now that we're out, we only have a quarter left, 25, 50, 75, we're out. I wasn't loving the long, or maybe these would only be 10%, but we'll see if we can get back up here. Remember, look, we're still well below VWAP. I even said it, we do not want longs until we break 15.1. So there it is, and yeah, man, instead of me talking about Apple, it was right here. Now it's down here. We should have a purple tick right there that says short, but we don't. So there it is, good out maybe, hopefully, on Tesla. Look at, like, spin it. Sometimes your outs are really what drives the money, man. Like, you can sit there and hold your position all day. It's great. But sometimes you got to take an out when you're starting to get those feels. So there it is, Tesla pulling back a little bit. Intel downside, AMD downside. Let's see what happens here into the close.
I finally got into Carvana. I did miss the 25 breakout, but I got the quarter just now. It'll happen as I went over to Rivian, which, by the way, it just broke that top, so I lost my 4 cents on Rivian, as I wanted to give it to that high. If 16 breaks, that's a huge level on the daily. Maybe we'll look for the long there. I should have had 25, but we got 25 quarters. It's an SSR bounce just because this is the first green since it broke 10% to the downside. I want to get some out on the way to 26. So I got offers out in front of 26 even, as you can see here. If it breaks that, I think you just kind of see where it can go. There's really nothing obvious out there except for see some size, see a 50 level, things of that nature. What else we got? Oh yeah, it was Meta. I was going to talk about Meta. Meta. So I did miss out on this entry to the short. That was 283. When it was originally short 284. I talked about not getting it. It's about to break maybe this trend to the downside, which was lower highs all the way through. That would only happen if it gets through 282.5. Ooh, it just failed it. So what I was getting at is I want to look to short the next available curl, which might be this right here. And if it made that higher low, then I didn't want any part of it. If it broke this level, no turn or no sign of weakness until it broke above like 82.5, then to me the trend is broken. You short the pops, you should be doing it here and here and then here and then here. So this is like the 5th time, and I'm doing it for the 3rd time, which is fine. It's better than not doing it at all, but it needs to get to the downside. So many names are like this, where they are just trending to the downside. I should take advantage of this move and try and get a little something out on that candle. When you have an exhaustion wick like that, I want to capture that move in case it rubber bands back up, and I'm getting shorts at 282 instead of 281.69, which I have right now. Unintentional, 100%. Oh yeah, Virgin Galactic. You know, I thought I'd put a stop order underneath 420, but I obviously didn't. So it did just break down. I saw someone mention that. I don't know. Getting old, man. Waiting around for this to break down. It is SSR. I probably wouldn't have got a fill because every time I've tried to short this stock, I have not gotten a fill on a breakdown trade, but maybe I would have gotten this one. $4 is a monster level. I'm pretty sure Prad said there was size down there at the evens. I'd expect to see the same thing. And maybe it's worth the defense. I'd much rather take a break of the 4-level short. To me, this is a sell the news type of event. If we get any pop up, I want to short the pop on Virgin Galactic. It's just a matter of getting into position. So as I mentioned, took some out of Meta. Next leg down is low of the day, or a reload this short, just not above 282. I wanted at that 282 mark.
All right. Man, I'm getting some love here for coaching that select girls team right there. So shout out to you. Now people want to get together, have dinner and stuff like that. I got time for that. Okay, but hold on a second right now. No, he's not calling. All right, get out.
He's calling Pratt.
Get out of there. Yeah, he's calling Pratt. He's trying to hook Pratt up with that.
Not going to help him
platinum
out.
stuff right there. So, all right. So let's just wait to see what happens here with that. All right. Intel downside, AMD downside. We did not get any of these reloads. What else you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about Oracle. We talked about that a little bit earlier, and someone said, why are you not on Oracle? And you're right. Look at this. Look at this move. I've added Oracle to the hit list as well. So this one, I got to start to program myself to when I'm looking for opportunities to go over to Oracle. Right now, I'm just programmed in for Apple. I'm not even programmed in for Meta or Microsoft now. You haven't even heard me say that. The last couple weeks, man, it's been Intel, Tesla, some Palantir, Amazon, AMD, and Apple. It's all the stocks I've traded today, to be honest with you. And I feel like that's the right strategy. You know, stay with what you've been looking at a little bit. And then yesterday was NVIDIA, and today I'm not even on NVIDIA. But let's look at Oracle just quickly here, just because, again, a big move down. And we've called that. We've been shorting these names, right? And so that's been good. I mean, definitely some support there at 116.50. It obviously breaks lower today, but that could have been the break long area, 116.50. I don't know where the rest of this data is, but that doesn't matter that much to me. This doesn't look that clean for a smile face or anything like that looping around, so I'm going to ignore that. What does it look like on a 5-minute chart? See, this looks a little bit better when you zoom it back out, maybe into a 5-minute chart. Maybe this 118.50 could be a break long, maybe. Not today, but just looking now. It's already 3:20, so we have 10 more minutes until the imbalance locator gets that predetermined look. So we'll get that from Financial Juice. Shout out to them, and then we'll see from there. But yeah, good shout out for Oracle. The other name that's on my radar that I just kind of skipped over, see how I just went right over to it now, when you're talking big data and things like that in servers with Oracle, is just what happens there. It just naturally goes over. Like, when Neil talks about Lucid, it's like you think about Rivian or something like that, right? It's like instantly. So here's Google. So this is a missed opportunity, actually, down. So let me just go over what I do here for trading, and that is that sort of like an internal checklist, right? And it's just really quick. So the market's down 0.37. Like today, for example, I have over 300 fills. So, you know, I'm trying to lower those, but not doing very well at that. But what I try to do is, look, market down. Name that I'm looking at down. Okay, so the short verified, right? Are we below VWAP on the market? Yes, we are, right? We're at the 50 period, so it means that I'm not going to be like loading up any shares maybe because the NASDAQ is still the boss. So we'll wait to see what happens. But this move right here, we just ran. VWAP on a stock is much different than VWAP on the market. Okay, so when this runs up to the stock, we also get the 200 period. That's an instant short. That's a fail for me right there. We need to be short that name. But like we said, over 7,000 names, probably about 20 that I'm looking at, and that was forgotten right there. We should have hit that Google right there at 119 against VWAP. Where's my stop? Probably right about there. So we probably don't get stopped out, but there it is. Nice move back down. Look, it's only 15 pennies. It's not huge, but that's something here just for intraday trading. Neil and I have to.
That's a good wick.
Yeah, and it wicks top. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff there. But that's a good wick bottom. Is that what you meant there? Or
you know what's crazy?
That?
No, the wick top I meant.
Yeah. So that's another indicator there. Those wicks. Once it gets exhausted, when you're telling that story, I thought it was wicks.
No.
We don't. But anyways,
no.
I know who it. Obviously, I know who it is. But as it goes up there, that's normally like an exhaustion point. So you see the buyers have stopped. Like, just come back to my screen one time, just real quick. See how there's high volume there. So I'll just move that. It's this volume candle right here coinciding with that. So it breaks higher. They can't get it to go. So then followed by a quadruped candle right there. The very next candle is down that 15 cents. So all right, let's get back to trading.
Yeah. So I think I accepted your duel there. What? I lost the duel?
In your face.
Oh, congratulations, Tony Price.
Someone duel me? How do I accept it?
So all you do, first of all, if you want to be involved in some of this stuff, it kind of happens in the chat. You need to be a subscriber to be in the chat, but you can just put, like, if I do this, I think it should work. I go duel, and I go at Sean, and I go 20.
So someone just did it at me.
So then like that, then all you have to do is accept. So like it's.
But how do I just accept?
Exclamation accept.
Yeah, but then I have so many duels out there.
Well, just.
Oh shoot.
I think it accepts the last one.
Uh-oh.
You probably.
I just accepted somebody.
What
what just happened there? Oh, by the way, I know what just happened right here. Let's see if I win. Someone tell me if I win. I have no idea. I might just lose a whole bunch of stream points here because I just accepted everything. Okay, so let's go. Oh, just real quick right now. This is what I want to talk about because AMD right now is 80 cents, in the money. So we'll go
another one
for that one, and then
another one
because we have Intel, and then
another
we have Tesla. So there it is. Look at Intel. Bang to the downside. So bang right there as there goes Intel, man. Hey, you can't tell you I didn't give you another one. We gave you Tesla long, we gave you Tesla short, we gave you Intel short right here. So, hey, if you're just chilling with us, having a good time today, thank you very much for that, first of all. Second of all, I hope you have this trade as well. You know the risk that was on? We were short at 303, we were out at 306. That's 3 cents worth of risk right now to get 14. So it's a 5-to-1 risk to reward. So good trade there. Let's see if we can't keep the motivation to the downside here with this market. We are almost stopped out of Tesla. It just went right back into 2. Wow, that's lucky. Our stop, well, it's not, it's gonna hit it anyways. Our stop is a break of 80 actually, right down here. So we're gonna watch out for that as Tesla looks like it's breaking lower. The 3-minute chart is right here as well. So I'm not gonna give it to the bottom. We've already hit that top and that was great. So this one will be on the we told you, 25, 50, 75. So when we're out there for $1, we can afford now to lose 25 cents by getting stopped out here. Actually, sorry, it'll be 50 cents or so. So we can afford that. That's like just erasing that right there. So we'll do that, unfortunately, like Thanos. Sometimes your net can get chopped in half, which is not happening here. But, oh, my wife sent me something the other day. I should have sent it to you. There was something, I think it was Google that did something, I'm not sure, but you had to like put it into your browser and then it told you if you were saved. So I was saved.
Oh, so
I guess
basically,
just,
did the
50,
Thanos,
50.
did you survive the Thanos snap?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
I
my
like
wife
that.
was saved and I was saved, so it's okay. I'm glad she's saved if I'm saved.
There was a lot of continuity issues with that story, but I won't get in. There's no point getting into it. If you're a nerd, you're like, what the hell?
Because didn't they just like kind of come right back in the next episode there? I don't really know that much about it.
Yeah, like so like years later, they
didn't
come.
read the
Everybody
books.
sort of comes back in like the moment that they left. But
there is some weird time travel issues there, I feel like.
well, like where, like so, like yeah, the Earth goes around the sun. Last I checked, and so you came back randomly in the same spot on the Earth, but the Earth wouldn't be in the same spot. So quite frankly, you should be floating somewhere in space. I don't know. Hey, that's
I don't. For some reason, I don't think they thought about it that far in advance.
I know
but-
only crap that I think about.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
just
yeah. I'd say
whatever. That's kind of how
probably
I am.
accurate.
Oh no, Virgin Galactic! I just got
no.
filled, so that's coming back to the upside. But Meta kind of turning here. This market's not doing much of anything. I should have taken some profit. I'm gonna give it at least to maybe this 81 half zone. I have reloaded on Rivian off the high. Someone just mentioned that it feels like there's no momentum to this. And so taking like little shots is going to make sense because the R&R still sets up. So it just wicked a new top. I kind of jump right back in, give it back into that high. But as I just told you, another position came in. That was Virgin Galactic. So I did not get the break down
I feel like we just got some
through 420. But lo and behold, it's right back here. And I got 419 anyway. So what's up now?
Yeah, what's up now?
SSR.
Yeah, SSR.
What's interesting is for those of you that watched long enough, you've been trading a long enough time. We started trading when everything, you needed an uptick to go aggressively short. Imagine a scenario where if you're a short seller, you could never aggressively hit the bid unless you paid for the right to do so, or the last print was green. Let's just say day trading was a little bit, it was difficult if you wanted to short things. If you thought the market was going down, winning short was not very easy if you couldn't just hit the bid. So you had to get very creative into getting into position. Take it against you or find creative ways. It is what it is. It's so much easier now. You don't have to worry about it. So just got that 19. It spiked up, gave me the film. Takes about 15s to 10s. 4, I expect to have a brick wall in front of it. And as I mentioned, Meta, yeah, it looks like maybe. I want to see it make a lower high. If it makes a decent lower high, I'll probably add to it and then see if we can't break out the low. Oh, I should have done this first. Always when in doubt, zoom out. I didn't go over this on the higher time frame. 280. I could draw a line there. You guys get the idea. Too many wicks. 280, big level here, bit of a defense there. If we see 280 today, I expect that to be around the bottom. It's almost 330 as well. So time to tighten up these stops and cover some of these positions. It's late.
Damn you, Tony Price. Dueled me and got smacked.
I'm not looking up because I'll just hit. There was one afternoon.
I'm not. Yeah,
where I just kept hitting
I can't be
accept every
obsessed.
time I saw it, and I wasn't
Right.
even paying attention, and I was just
Right.
lose.
Tony Price apparently is dealing with everybody out there, so I don't know. He's got the secret code on that
Tony.
one. I'm going to stop a fail on myself because you know what? I was bidding 55 right here. I saw this dip down there to 44, and I was like, what the hell? My net, and like it was going here. But it was also as Tesla was going down, so I wasn't even paying attention to AMD because I was more looking at Tesla. It was a more dramatic move. But now that I see my net net going back the other way, I realized that, yeah, we did miss that. Look at this, like 7 or 8 straight candles to the downside, followed by 6 or 7 now, back up to the upside for AMD as the market does that same move, down and then back up. But it's all good. We did get a great fill down there. That was fantastic. We're now very, very, I should tell you, we're in about 20% of the fill left here on Intel. So downside move there. We did get a great cover down there. So hopefully, we'll be able to see what happens now moving forward with that trade. Let's just check back in our city. Let's just check back on Apple actually right now quickly. Okay, that was easy. Let's not do that anymore. Amazon. Okay, so this stock I kind of feel bad about because we should be short. We should be short right here. There's no reason. I forget what I was doing at this time, but it was right about 1 o'clock. And I was probably just too much in Tesla short. So I was like, I don't know if the NASDAQ blows up here, we don't necessarily want this. But look at this. I'll just draw a line right here. This is the kind of stuff, man, that I really like right there. So like you have that bottom here on Tesla, see? On Amazon right there, and that was a great short. Once it broke, boom, right down there to the downside, that's 128.25, and right into there again, it came right back up there. Problem was it was above VWAP, so I'd have to go back and look at what the futures were doing, but I was thinking about this, and what it was is not shorting it when it was up here, shorting this move back down through VWAP. So that would have been a 128.15 short against 128.30, so 15 cents worth of room. It didn't give it that great. So it wasn't a huge trade because it was about 1-to-1, maybe 2-to-1 there if you get that bottom wick. But then it comes back up, and I just feel like this would have been one that we would have been reloaded on numerous times. So missed opportunity. Sometimes when you don't take the first fill, then you kind of forget about it, and then you become like sort of engulfed in the trades that you currently do have. But that was a good trade right there on Amazon. Let's look to make something like that tomorrow on this name. Very, very quiet. Like it's the end of the month now, and I don't think we're expecting anything today, any kind of rebalances or anything. And on that note, Brendan just no, not yet. You'll put it in at 3:30. So once that imbalance comes out, I don't think it's going to be anything to write home about. But tomorrow is the last day, and it's a Friday, and it's the 30th. So maybe tomorrow we get a little bit more action into the market. But for right now, it does feel a little sleepy to me. I don't know what it feels like to you. Tesla's back up 50 cents in the money right now, so that's a banger. But we got lucky. We almost got stopped out. But, we'll hold this. We wanted to get bigger on this, so hopefully that will come through. And then one more trade that I could possibly get into. It's coming up right now. My short on AMD, although I don't know if we want it anymore. Bless you. I guess we're trying to get it against this 20, and then if we have to, get out at 30 just to make sure that that's where my fills are. So I'm going to readjust all of this. I'm just going to hit Shift Escape and cancel everything now on AMD, and then just really rethink about what we want to do here on this name. So I still like the short around here, but maybe not. We'll give it to 111.40. This is maybe 30s. Yeah, 20s and 30s. So, okay, still the same on AMD, actually.
I actually got to the mute button when I sneezed there.
Yes. I just on your mic.
On my mic.
Yeah, that's the best way
I
to do
did
it.
So hopefully you guys didn't hear that. So I did take out half a nickel. I put in the chat, I think it's time for me to give it up on Nikola. You can see, remember it was barcoding and not moving? Well, I didn't want to wait, so I just punched some out there. If it cannot hold on to VWAP, I'm going to get the rest out. Yeah, you know what? This is already not holding on to VWAP. We're out. And Carvana, while that happened, I'm not going long. Someone asked in the chat, am I going long, Nikola? No, not really. I'm not sure it has the room to go. CVNA, there we go. So this was the channel since I got into it. The good news is, since we took this long, it holds on to the consolidation and got back to the top end of the range, but it hasn't broken back out. So the next step would be it breaking out here, getting through that mess, and then we can get something at 75s, and then maybe it goes squeezing. That obviously has not happened, so we're just waiting for it. We got one fill down there at 15 on Virgin Galactic, and then it bounced. I was looking for something into that 10 level. If it makes another rollover at 420, then I might be able to add back into this. But it is late enough in the day that you don't necessarily want to get too aggressive. I've already got the position on. If it makes a higher low, sort of lower high, I think it makes sense to get more in. 329 million to sell is the early look on the imbalances. That comes via Financial Juice. We have no affiliation directly with them, but they do give that early look. It's an estimate of the net order imbalances on the NYSE for the closing auction. So sometimes it moves the markets. I don't know if it's going to be anything crazy here today. You care about those. Like I'm in like 2 stocks that will not care about that 99 times out of 100. Carvana, it doesn't matter. Virgin Galactic, I would say probably never has an imbalance unless there's some kind of an index action, which it's not going to be in any major indexes. So yeah, those aren't going to care. But if you're in a Meta, if you're in a tech name, you might see a little bit of a movement that can move the NASDAQ. It can move the stock that you're in. So pay attention to it.
All right. All right. Okay. What? What is happening here? I'm getting fills. It's just okay. It just must be this one. Intel. So we actually got a 93 there. So that's I guess what came in. We have more fills at 91 to come through. Oh, that's why I got part filled again. Okay, that's why. So yeah, so I got 2 fills there. So that's why I didn't like that. So I was like, okay, something's going on there. But there it is. So another fill as Intel just coming back up. Remember, we're short here. Let's just take advantage of that. Tesla's starting to go back up now. So that's a trade that we can look at. What else do you guys want to talk about quickly here as we have something to go? I still have my scanners going. I don't really see anything here. This is brought to you by Trade ID. Why can't... There it is. Okay, good. I was like, okay, that's a little slow. But this is what I'm looking at here. And again, see what I have highlighted here, relative volume. So it's Micron today, it's Lucid, it's Rivian. Neil sort of talked about, no, you're not in any of those, you're in Carvana, but we've done a little bit of work on that. We can look at Lucid. It looks like Rivian wants to break through 16.
Oh, yeah, AMC.
That could be a good one. AMC today is 1.8 times its relative volume, which doesn't seem that high considering it's a day today. JP Morgan, nicely done today. You can see the percent change here on the upside for that. Robinhood, there was actually news about Robinhood. We can check that out. That the EU, I think it was the EU, Brendan, that was banning pay for order flow. And that would obviously be affecting Robinhood and Citadel and all that, but you can see there's not much there. I don't really see any volume spikes, so maybe that was sort of a known issue there for Robinhood, that was going to be coming through the pipeline. So not much there. And then also on that list, let's just double check CCL. I mean, that's another big name from yesterday that we really did well on from yesterday. So there's CCL. It's a nice move to the upside right there. Well, not really. We did hit 7. Wow. That was today. Remember yesterday we had, whoopsies, it's still on this. Yesterday we had CCL from here. Yeah, that was a great trade. Thank you, Scott H. I want you to forget that. That was a great move to the upside there yesterday. And then today, the same excitement off the open, then a couple dumps here on CCL. So, you know, the excitement from that earnings seems to be gone a little bit, but for right now, CCL on the move a little bit, trying to take out view up there at 17.20. That's not a horrible trade either. Tesla, 50 cents in the money. AMD, 30 cents in the money. Intel is that dime piece again.
That's what it does. There was an 88 fill on Intel. I don't know if you were. It got down underneath 90, hit 88.
Now I just got 91.
And yeah, it's coming back in.
Oh yeah, I got 88.
I think we're turning down.
Did you get 88?
I got one fill at 88.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then I have a bid at 83, and then
we just got
the
a
rest
91.
Is in the 70s. I didn't get that. I missed that curl on Meta here, but. So it did do it at 81 and a half. Now we're testing low today. This is the third time we're going to test 280.80 or 280.75. 73 is actually the low of the day. If we bounce again, I just get out and then look for another place to get in. How many times is it going to make that bounce before we just realize it's the bottom and it's the end of the day? So I put another bid at 15s on Virgin Galactic. If it's just going to sit here between 10 and 20, there's not much else to do. Start getting out at 15 and then cover down to 10. I don't think it's worth the reload. Definitely not moving enough. The good thing about Virgin Galactic, I missed all the really great sell the new shorts, but I've only traded the 420 level, the original SSR. Whether it's long at the key price or short when it breaks down. That was the price to execute at. I suppose if you're perfect, for whatever reason, 442 is a good short. That's a price I should have liked. That's my favorite number. You shouldn't trade that way. Don't just trade because it's at a number. I'll put like if there's a move down, like if a $200 stock, and I'm going long in front of 200 even,
right?
And I want a long between 10 and 25. I will often like bidding 22. It's weird like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you bid 11 or 12, you don't get the fill. So I want something closer to the quarter mark. So it breaks a quarter, you get filled, and then it doesn't really carry through to the downside, and then you actually get your position in. Do you see another play in BMRN? That's from Yannick. So when it comes to flash news like this, I feel like you want the rubber band, like the whole snap back off a huge move. You want it the first time. once volume has died down, I don't think you want to go back to the well a second time. I could be wrong about that. But if I'm not catching this move when it's going crazy like long here, that's at like 89. Or if you're like short, this is a horrible short because the top's 96, but it would have been 94. Like you're looking for that first rubber band trade. Maybe even that short would have been good. But trending back down in and about to break the low on good news, seemingly, I wouldn't stand in front of that at 338. You want that. What you want is everyone's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and wild action is happening. That gives you the retracement of like $3 or $4. Not at the end of the day, hoping it bounces off the low. Now that's something for a stock that you've been watching. You know it's a good level. That's why you play support and resistance when you really believe in the levels. Everything else for this, that's like a flash news. Catch it the first time and then walk away.
I'm trying to get more intel here, or get more out of intel here for that 15 cents at 88. We'll see if we can get that. Hopefully that will come through for us at some point, and that would be really, really good. We just talked about Amazon Mo Genius. I don't know why it's not moving. I mean, that's kind of a loaded question a little bit there. All right, what else is moving around? Microsoft? No. I mean, do you want to honestly know why things aren't moving? I mean, this. The NASDAQ's not doing anything. It had some nice moves here for sure, but I think this is kind of just a regrouping kind of a day right now for the NASDAQ, and what I mean by that is like it's kind of take a little bit of a breath. We've had some big moves recently, and now you're only down 0.33, so let's just settle down a little bit here on the NASDAQ and try to slow it a little bit. Thank you, LF Williams, man. Every show I feel like is a great show, but it's glad to know that today is one as well. All right, Alibaba is a name that, again, another name that I like to look at for sure. Let's just see what it's doing. Yeah, it's breaking. So that's why it just came up on a VWAP scan. Again, shout out to Trade Ideas. There it is, trying to take down VWAP right now, and it actually does. It breaks it. Now we're down here in the 30s. Looks like Alibaba wants to make a move down. So this could be a decent short. Again, I just don't know if there's enough volume. Like if you're going to go short here at 40, the bottom is 83 flat. I'd rather wait to break that bottom, and make sure that there is enough momentum in here to break this to the downside. So I think that would be a good one there. 83 flat. Wow, that's pretty low for Alibaba, isn't it? Yeah, so from 95 down to 83, that's a good one. I can't hate on anybody that looks at this as a short right here. 83.45. Maybe you do take Alibaba short against that level. Bring it back down into the downside. The NASDAQ, I told you we didn't want to go long anything. We're long Tesla. Looks like we'll get out of that very soon when it breaks lower. We've already done the damage on this. I'm not even really watching it. Tesla's going to be a green stock for us today. But we said as long as we're under here, 15.1, we didn't want to take any longs. But the problem is the market didn't move enough for me to really reload any shorts here. So the only thing we got is Intel, which we just got, by the way.
Just printed 86.
Yeah, so we'll go, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because finally we get a trade on that one. But other than that, man, nothing else happening here. Kind of a quiet day to end here, it looks like.
Hold your shorts, scalp them out where you can get them because we're holding the bottom end of the range. I got one fill for profit on Carvana, and I might move my stop closer to break even. You reminded me the second you said Alibaba, I was like, oh, that's right, Xpeng $12, because I had totally forgotten about this. It made a run at $12. Look at this wick right to $11.99. Now, if you think that looks interesting, I'm hoping this makes a move here through 12 tomorrow. The daily chart is even more spicy when it comes to Xpeng at $12. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, fine, it broke it back in December of 2022. But for the entire year, this has been a brick wall at $12 on Xpeng, and it just rejected off $11.99 and is going to close near the top on volume. Suffice to say, let's go flat top breakout tomorrow on Xpeng. I guess you could short it first if you want to, but that just got on my iPad because I want to see that. Anytime you see a level that big, you just want to take a shot at it. And if you lose, you lose. You're not going to be pissed off at yourself because I've seen Xpeng run $1 before. We've seen Neo break out and run $1 before, so that's worth watching. As Sean mentioned, Intel's starting to get back into the downside. It's been good off this level. 33 has been a big price. And the fact that we're closing underneath is not good. Was that Bogdanov?
No, that was Prad's phone, I think.
Okay, I just heard a phone somewhere. 33 has been a big level to the long side. Underneath, it's been a short. That's Bogdanov.
There he is. But he always hangs up. It's really quickly there.
Speaking of Apple, by the way.
He's just letting you know that he's there.
So Apple is still, I really thought you'd make another run at that 190 at some point. But shorting underneath 190 has been the absolute jam. So I've had it wrong on Apple today because I've been wanting to only be long the stock, and I've only gone long. I've gone long 3 times, and really short, short, short. Failed break, lower high, lower high. Now we're flushing. Yeah, I'm gonna get some more out of Carvana because it feels wrong to sit. The market is tanking. Why even? Like, if you can get anything that's not a loser on a long position,
Right.
like, why not just take it? Because the market wants downside here.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about that. I was very, very close just to punching out for flat here on Tesla, man. I mean, we're long at 18s. I mean, it's not a big position. We can get out if it breaks that bottom. I'd feel bad if it doesn't and then we don't get out. We can watch out for AMD though. AMD just went down and touched 75. I'm still bidding here. Let's just bid 60s. I was bidding 55. I know there's not that much of a difference, but we've seen this move a lot here into these imbalances, which is now only 5 minutes away into the market on closing imbalances. So we will have to give ourselves a shot at that. But, you know, I don't know what exactly to do on those imbalances. So let's wait to see what's happening. Oh, did we even talk about the number? It was 505 to
That's
sell.
an update. It's gotten bigger.
Yeah, so it was 329 to sell, now 505 to sell. All right. All right. I'm just going to, if I can, I just pushed offer enter on Tesla. If I can get that out there, we'll get it out. We're sitting at 7s. Hopefully that'll print. We'll be able to get out of it and then basically be out for flat. And then, and again, you know, it is a sell imbalance. Is that really why I'm getting out here? Nah, not really. It's just, it's a pressure down. There's a pressure down right now. We're short everything. If we can get out of Tesla unscathed here, then great. But it looks like we may get tested down there at that 255.80 area. So if it does break it, it's right there. We already know our out. The stop order's already in. I just throw my hands up. If it fills great. If it doesn't, also great. But here it comes. So now we're a couple pennies away from getting out of that one. And then again, like I said, I'm just kind of, if you're seeing what Neil and I are doing, we're probably both just cleaning up some of our orders.
No. Oh, wait a minute. Oh,
I'm just trying to clean up some of these orders. So I'm now going to officially, hopefully get out of AMD. I'm canceling all these upsides now. I don't want this short anymore. There's only 5 minutes left until those imbalances. So if they come out, they come out. Right now, Tesla just came out. Hopefully it was to the upside. Yes, it was. So that's a good one, man. We'll celebrate it. Even though it's going back up to the upside, to get out for flat right there, I'm happy to do that. I know you're like, hey, man, now it's up 10 more cents than where you got out. But we're out of it. I thought we were going to get pushed to the downside there. So happy to get out of it now. And for, again, very, very profitable day.
Bouncing.
Now we're bouncing up, of course. But it's a very profitable day on Tesla. We only have 3 minutes until those, 4 minutes until those imbalances. So there it is, man. We got out. Probably a little bit diamond hands on that last position. But hey, when we're long here at 56 and my best out's 57, that's pretty good. As well as a 75-cent winner, a 40-cent winner, and then flat right there. So that's okay. Happy with that. Not
gotta
happy.
ring the register
Yeah, go ahead, man. Take it.
No, I was going to say, like, you have to ring the register somewhere. It'll never, there's no such thing as a perfect entry unless you get lucky. You can have the bottom wick when you're wrong, the top wick when you're wrong. If it happens the other way, usually you're fortunate. I think I got fortunate with this, Phil, because I said if Meta broke the low, I was going to put a trailing stop in. Meta wicked the bottom, got to 280.65. I put a 281 stop back in, and it was almost instantly filled. I got the stop in, and it's already at 281.5. So that was a pretty big reversal. Right in front of the imbalances, I'm still holding a piece of Carvana. I have now gotten out of half of Virgin Galactic, which I suppose it's not really flushing. This is not really flushing. It gave me a great fill at 419. I was fortunate. I just left the order in when I missed the breakdown. Just left it at 19. So when you miss that break, sometimes it comes back in and fills you, but this is not moving anymore. I just need to get out of Dodge. Vana is the only thing I have long, Carvana that is. It's trying to go, so I guess I'll give it a shot. I did take some out there because it wasn't moving, but if it breaks top, I'm looking for 26 at this point. Bit of a disappointment. I should have had this here, right, instead of off the next breakout. So I should have had this, at 25 even. Instead, we're at long at 25.25.
Yeah, not too happy with this number right here. So you guys got to make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe right now because we only have 585. And if you want to see, I think Kat's on. Are you on vacation tomorrow, Kat? Yeah, so she ain't even here. So if you want to see her, let's get that at least to 1,000. I'm almost thinking 1,200. So there it is right there.
Like and subscribe today.
So she gone tomorrow. Make sure that you do hit that like and subscribe again. 653. So let's get her on the bell. Say goodbye to her here to end the day. So shout out to Kat. Not here tomorrow.
Actually, how about this? So she just told me, can I say, is it fine? Okay, so the reason you want to hit the like is because we'll send her off to her brother's graduation tomorrow. So congratulations to your brother. It's that time of year, people are graduating.
Yep, they are.
So if your way of being able to say congratulations is going to be hit that like, so she'll be happy tomorrow. I love this time of year because our friends will post pictures of their kids. Like one of our friends has a son going to high school next year, which makes me feel even older.
Yep.
So that's what it's all about. And my daughter's going to grade 1. She is absolutely psyched about it.
Yes,
it's always good when they're excited about going to the next grade. But the big ones are like high school, university graduation, that kind of thing. So I think it's awesome. It's always great this time of year. 1 minute to go till we get the early look on those imbalances. As I said, a good place to tighten up stops, take profit. There was a fill down there at 85. I got it on. I was able to get it on Intel, and then it just bounced back up. I don't want to give this to 33 or 33.05. I'll probably give it to the local high at 95. So we're going to hang on to it, but only giving it to the local high at 32.95 on Intel.
Okay, so here we go. Going to load it up and see what's happening right now. So the imbalance locator will be out very, very shortly in only now 15 seconds. So we're just going to get rid of ARCA, and then we're going to watch out to see what happens. We still have Tesla up. Obviously, we got out at 07s there. Now it's at 57, so missed out on that opportunity. Oh, good. Here we go with only a couple more seconds left. We have very light positions now, so let's see what happens. Okay, so I don't know what Tesla is. It doesn't really seem to be moving around.
TD again?
Yeah, so TD with a sell.
Man.
We'll see. Is that doing anything? Yeah, but it doesn't do anything, man. That's not going to do
It's a sell every day.
It's a sell, so it just went up, so don't worry. All right, Proctor. There's Apple with a little bit of a sell. Yeah, nothing's really happening
The
here.
number's actually 342 to buy.
Buy. See, so yeah, so they got me there. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet because, yeah, we should still be long Tesla, which will be streaming right now. So that sucks because that sucks for me, but that's okay. Nice move down there for Tesla, so congratulations, upside, sorry. So congratulations to anybody that held that. I got out fearing the worst for these imbalances, but obviously, get out of your fly. Yeah, there is a fly around here. So obviously that did not pan out for us right there. AMD also going up. It doesn't matter. We have very, very light shares, but that sucks because there's Tesla doing exactly what we thought it would. If there was 10 more minutes, then we wouldn't have got out, but there wasn't. So we got out, and there's Tesla making moves to the high side. So congratulations to anybody that held that.
How did I miss Workhorse breaking $1 downside the other day? So if you saw the imbalance locator, the #1 name in terms of size, but it's not notionally, that's actually not that big. It's a penny stock, $2 million to sell. Workhorse, TD at $1 million to sell. Remember, it's primarily listed in Toronto,
yes.
So unless that's somehow a sell in Toronto, that's probably completely insignificant.
We just
but
took out
Workhorse,
15.1.
this actually did move, man. Oh my goodness, this is not bad. I know it's only a 2 or 3 cent move, but big sell imbalance, topped at 81. If you're short anywhere like 80 and a half, stop to 81 when you see that sell imbalance, you've just made 1.5 cents. That's what you're kind of looking for. You got to be like seriously Johnny on the spot for something like that. It would have to be a stock that you're already monitoring a lot of times. Out of 10. Oh my goodness, I just got out. Yeah, I just got out of Intel, so I'm only in Carvana long, which is working. Lots of super chats. Thank you very much. Honest Abe. This show was amazing. And Neil and Sean, I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you, Honest Abe. I love of the family in the markets is amazing, and I can relate. That's what it's all about.
Boom.
We love the markets too. We love the trading floor here. We just want to be able to share that with everybody because we all love the same thing here. We love to trade the markets. We love to watch the markets. We like to talk some shop here. Lilia Nene, congrats and enjoy your time off. $10 super chat for you, Kat. So that's enjoy your time off, Katrine, and enjoy tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. As we always say.
That's 10 iced coffees.
It depends on what you're putting in and where you get it from.
No, McDonald's. They're $1.
Oh, yeah,
right
okay.
So me and Kat are the iced coffee twins.
For $1?
And we're racking up the points as well.
All about those points.
Yeah. That's my girl over there. So we're the iced coffee team. So that's what we're doing.
Next time it's 30 degrees. Maybe I partake. But you guys go. I don't drink caffeine after the afternoon. And you
I get it. I get it literally just before the shows here. So all right, little bit of a banger. I don't know, I shorted up there. We shorted against VWAP. I said we were basically done, but that market just rallied up. And look what happened too, right? Right into 15.1. Move this NASDAQ thing. Right into 15.1, right into VWAP. So that was a good opportunity to short it there. So we do that again on AMD and make a little bit of money there because the short was at 20 and we just covered it at 7. So you tell me if we're making money back now again, as we'll punch out some more at 09s there. I do have a bit at, sub 111. I'm going to put another one here at 111.05. It's a good trade. We'll see if we can get a downside there. Intel, we're almost out of everything. Apple doesn't look like it will close 189.30, 189.40, something like that. Nope. We'll put some more bids here on Intel as that seems to have gone a little bit upside there. So, no skin off our back there, but we already got some great outs. We actually got 88 again when it came back. So Intel's been a nice one here into the close. We'll just wait for AMD, man. Hopefully that'll print us a little bit lower, and then we'll go from there. But right now at 355, you could get a flip. So the market bounced a little bit there on that number. So if all of these pair off, what was it again? It was 300 to buy?
342.
Yeah, so that's not big. But if Apple pairs, then, we may get the market to rally back up again. So we'll watch out for that. I have no idea what AMD is, but maybe we do dip down just a little bit more. I'm still bidding now 05s and then 95. So hopefully we get all of that.
So before 355 hits, I just punched out a Carvana. It'll be my last trade. SSR bounce on this one, but I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth. We are running out of time here. It should have been a 25 even long, admittedly so. I got distracted with Rivian and took the L there. Got the quarters, it gave you 65s, it gave you into 40 as well. So I think that's decent. The SSR trade has been pretty good because you have a lot of small cap names that are moving around a bit. So when they go 10% to the downside, just look for the first rejection or bounce off those levels, and Bob's your uncle after that. Virgin Galactic, I got out when it did not want to seem to go any further downside. 19 short, got 15, then 16, then 17, then 18, and then punched out the last at 19. It was just there stepping up. And no reload. You don't reload at a price if it's going wedging into that level. Like, it's kind of false break, should have been this short, but I missed it. We got the 19 on the way back in. So all done with Virgin Galactic. We can come back tomorrow and hopefully get that trade off of $4 even. Less than 4 minutes to go to the end of our show, but you know what? It's not the end of Trader TV Live today. Correct. Because, as always, we're going to be going to Prad right after that close. So I love it. Should be fantastic. It doesn't matter that Apple's going to close down at 189. I am living proof, because I got long at the top and lost, that Apple broke that 190. There's a few traders, I think, around here. That 190 break was extremely popular, and I'm pretty darn sure it's going to be just as popular going long on a 190 break tomorrow, too. So, fast forward 24 hours from now, I guarantee we've taken the same shot at 190 long.
You could take that to the bank tomorrow. We'll see where it goes, though. Okay, so the only thing left for us to do is to celebrate, because it's the end of the show, which means that we can go over to Prad, so we're getting ready for that. We did get a nice bid there at 11.05. That's great, man. If this takes out that top of 11.30, I just got to make sure that's where my price is at right now. So we're just going to set this 11.31. If it hits that, we'll get out of 100% of that. Make sure that we are out if that does indeed break. But right now, we got to go to Brendo. What's up?
Speaking of this guy, Trader Prad sitting beside me right now, setting up for after the close, coming up in a few minutes. We were just saying Nike coming up after the close. There's this one as well, yeah. Canopy sold this California facility. That came out this morning, but I did see that weed was up today. Constellation Brand, my point here, Constellation Brands before the open tomorrow.
You heard from Brando just now. STZ tomorrow, bright and early in the morning. Those are going to be our earnings watchers. We already had Micron and BlackBerry last night, so we'll go through that. And all the other hot sectors like banking, with the stress test passing, and oil sectors, whatever's moving around, you know where to catch me after 4 at the after party.
Banks coming up. Will officially, guys, kick off earnings season next Friday, pre-market, with big banks starting things.
Big banks, baby. And that's when you know you're going to hear all about the buybacks and the dividends and more or less the reason why you put them in your portfolio. Because recently there hasn't been any other reason to have the financials in your portfolio, because that's all you're looking for. Nike, that's spicy.
Just 2 minutes.
I believe Prad said it is, and he'll correct me as I say this really loudly, Prad, it's 5.1 the expected volatility, I think, on Nike. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, just look it up.
And yesterday it was dead on 5.5 is what they said with the expected volatility on Micron, and that initial move to the upside was 5.5% up. Nike's at a very interesting price. Underneath this 115 on the daily, I think that's really juicy. When you break away from consolidations like this, that's when you can have juicy trades. You have big resistance up top, and regardless of which direction it's going to go, this should provide some trading opportunities, whether it's at 120, 130 big levels, 100 the monster level. Under 90 seconds to go. No positions left. Kat will be on the bell. Thank you very much for all the super chats. It's much appreciated. I know I can speak for all of us
Oh, we only have 900 though.
Well,
likes.
okay, fine.
Right,
I thought
I'm sure we can get up
I
to-
looked at it and we were at 900 like
I'm sure we
5
can
minutes
get-
ago, and I
Yeah,
figured we
yeah,
got
yeah.
to the 1,000 likes, so I could.
She's still sitting there. She's like ignoring the likes. So she needs 1,000
She's
likes.
hard at work.
Or not ringing the bell. So hopefully she'll be able to get
She's
over
in
to that.
vacation mode.
Right now, 930 right now. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys want
Pump
to
it.
ring the bell or not. Okay, yeah, nothing happening. I was just we're out of Intel, we're out of AMD, all as well, obviously on that front. So we're just gonna wait now as we get ready to close this market. There's Nike just watching it. We'll see what does happen. Apple for the close. 189.50. We'll wait to see that.
Almost.
AMD, where did Tesla closing at? Wow. Tesla, huge move. Too bad we don't have that. That's too bad. But nice upside move there. That sucks. With only 30 seconds now left, here we go again. So what a great show. What a great day today. Thank you so much for watching. I think we had some great talks, some great opportunities.
1K, thank
to show you as well. Yeah, there's 1K. I mean, I can't believe we're thanking for 1K, but we'll thank for 1K. I think we need to get more. 3,600 watching right now. So there it is right here. All right, yeah, get ready to dance that graduation party tomorrow. So 3, 2, and 1.
Casino close on light blue shirt day.
Yes,
here at
even
TraderTV
Cat
Live.
there. The casino is now closed. It's now 4 o'clock. We'll wait for Nike. We'll wait for a few things. Tesla closing 257.50. That's nice. Apple's official close on a day that we broke 190, 189.65 or so. So there it is right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But yeah, the Blue Collar Club is today. Tomorrow we may or may not be dressed alike again as well. But I don't think it's going to be a free fall Friday at all. Okay, so Nike's earnings, I just saw 4:15 expected release. So, all right, Brendan, how do we wind up today?
Nice green board overall. It's just, look what happened here. The composite, guys, the NASDAQ, dead flat. 0, 0, 0. 0.16 for the 100 downside. But everything else, though, positive territory. Yeah, some regional bank strength today. Russell 2000 back to the upside in a big way. 1%. 0.8 for the Dow. 0.45 for the S&P, guys.
All right. Yeah, S&P, nice day there. NASDAQ down here. I mean, the bank started some of that rally up there for the S&P. Wow, up 0.5%. Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Not bad.
All
We'll
right there.
take
Big
it.
thanks, Frank Caberna, today. I mean, you guys had
As
a lot of
always.
good talks there. Thanks, Brendo, for that one. Brendan also off tomorrow. So
Slight
we'll say-
correction. I got ahead of myself.
Okay.
Bank's not next Friday. 2 weeks. 2 weeks Friday.
Okay, 2 weeks Friday. But he still is not
I got
here
so
tomorrow.
excited.
On what? Oh, Banks? Yeah, I know. Me too. How dare you, Brendan, for that. But we'll wait for Banks coming up. They normally start it all off. We'll see
Yeah, I get
how the
excited.
earnings season goes. But Brendan, have a great time. Do you want to tell everyone where you're going or if you're doing anything?
Doing a road trip, actually. Going down
Beauty.
through Vermont. We're going to end up in Boston. Come back up that way as well. So getting some fresh air, hopefully no smoke involved, but we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be getting some air, whether it's fresh or not.
So you'll see Brendan a week from now, basically.
sir.
No, you're coming back to
No, the
Friday?
Monday.
The
The
Monday,
10th,
right,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. And then also a funny story because the Monday is a half day, right? So we're going to be here
Yes.
half day on Monday, then it's July 4th to Tuesday, then we're back Wednesday. So next week's a little bit mixed up, but Sharif will be filling in for you. So thanks to Sharif on that. And then it's Max and Pratt, right, on the midday show?
Yep.
Maybe a little sprinkle of Obi in there or something. We'll figure that all out. But thank you so much for watching again, and a big shout out to Max and everybody, Obi, Yannick, everybody that's part of the Trader TV Live team. Big shout out to everybody. Prad's coming through next. Sharif's there. Ramin and Fabian over there. Big shout out. Mark, Rob, everybody that we possibly can. Bears versus Bulls.
Always Bears versus Bulls. Love you.
And everybody out there as well. So be safe, Brando. Be safe to Sharif as well, because he's out there running around on the beach somewhere, apparently. So shout out to Sharif, maybe being mobbed right now.
It's
So,
true. It's true.
yeah, tough one there. All right, man, here we go. Let's throw it over to Pratt. Oh, by the way, come to my screen right now quickly.
Or not.
Or not.
Oh,
yeah,
there it
right here.
is.
Look at Apple. Apple is
bang.
like
There it is.
very comfortably right now above what.
That's
what
a real
the
break. That's the official break.
But it's not,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
why
during
is
market
that?
yet. Oh. It's not during market yet, Bradley.
Brendan. He always has to throw cold water on everybody. Okay, well, Brad can discuss the bet, and he can tell you what it's all about. So, all right, thank you from everybody here at Trader TV Live. Have a good one, Brendan, and we'll see you soon. And we'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. So, ciao to everybody. Over to Brad.
Welcome to the after